gentlemen, start your engine!
In the 50 years that the stock cars have been racing here at Darlington, the racetrack has changed, but not that much. When they started racing here 50 years ago, they were running about 85 miles per hour. They qualified for this race over 172 miles per hour, and the racetrack is not that much different. But the racetrack does eat up tires, Ned.
Yes, it does, and that tire management will be a key factor in winning this race here today. Goodyear has brought a good tire here. All the drivers are praising that tire, but the asphalt is very abrasive, wears that rubber off in a hurry, and it slows down a lot, so tire management is one of the keys, and patience also.
And Kyle Petty says when you roll the car down the pit road, you've taken some of the edge off the tire.
ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, and the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, invite you to settle back and enjoy an afternoon of stock car racing. It's the 50th annual Pepsi Southern 500 from Darlington. There is the historic egg-shaped oval at Darlington, South Carolina. To be exact, it is 1.366 miles in length. The front stretch and the back stretch reach 1,229 feet. There is a difference in banking in the corners. 1 and 2 are banked at 25 degrees, and turns 3 and 4 are banked at 23 degrees. Now here is the Everstart Walmart grid for today's event. Kenny Irwin has his third Winston Cup pole, second of 1999. Ward Burton is on the outside pole for second straight Southern 500. Jerry Nadeau in his second race in this car. Jeff Gordon going for 5 straight Southern 500 wins. Bobby Hamilton has his best start of 1999, and Elliott Sadler has his second best start of the year. Bobby Labonte is the first of the No Bull 5 drivers eligible for a $1 million bonus. Mike Skinner is in his 100th NASCAR Winston Cup start. Kevin LePage is in his second Southern 500. Bill Elliott has 5 wins at this facility. Jeremy Mayfield finished second here in the spring, and Kenny Wallace had a 10th place finish here last year. Sterling Marlin finished 8th here last year, and on the outside of row number 7 is going to be Jeffrey Bodine. Then a couple of No Bull drivers back in the next row, Jeff Burton on the inside and Mark Martin on the outside.
Now we see the remainder of the field. Steve Grissom, great qualifying run for Steve in the 9 car. And Tony Stewart back in row 10. Expect to see him come to the front. Rusty Wallace, unfamiliar territory, back in outside of row 12. And there's Earnhardt. There's 26 cars. Here's the 28 cars that are pitting on the front stretch. All the rest of these drivers and cars that you see will have to use the backstretch pits, and we've established that is a disadvantage.
See there, Brent Bodine, Wallet all back. Being one of those pitting back there, Darrell Wolf, Dale Jerry.
The topic of conversation around here all weekend has been what was Hurricane Dennis, which has now been downgraded, I understand, to a tropical depression. And it looks as if rain is very, very close. Over beyond turn number 3, the sky has been very black all morning. And in fact, the radar is showing some rain over there. But although it's that close, we do think that the rain is going to go north and will not affect us here this afternoon. Let's hope not. 2 drivers, Stanton Barrett and Todd Bodine, missed the field for today's race. Well, we got a whole bunch of onboard cameras for you today.
See Dale Jarrett started back in 36 to Ford Quality Care on board. Ricky Rudd has the Planters Peanuts onboard camera starting 26th. Rusty Wallace, the Miller Light on board in 24th. Tony Stewart, Home Depot, he'll start 19th this afternoon. Mark Martin, the Valvoline Ford, starts 16th. Bill Elliott, the McDonald's drive-through, starts in 10th position. Bobby Labonte carries the Circuit City onboard camera, starting in 7th position. Elliott Sadler on the inside, the Citgo Jerry's Kid starts in 6th. And Jerry Nadeau, the Brian Meats, will start inside the 2nd row.
We are ready to go green for the 50th anniversary anniversary celebration at Darlington and the Pepsi Southern 500. Here we go. In 1995, Ward is out front for the 9th race in 1999.
He's got high outside starting position getting into turn one, drove in hard and took the lead and has himself a pretty decent lead.
And look at Jeremy Mayfield drive on the inside of Bobby Labonte, trying to take that spot away. That was the 9th position.
Jeremy finished second. The Trans-South 400 held earlier this year. And is showing early muscle here in the Southern 500. On board with Bobby Labonte as we look up ahead towards him. Now tries to get to the inside of Bill Elliott as they roar down the backstretch.
Tire management, Jeremy, remember, you're the guy that tested the tires. Well, maybe that was an advantage.
There is already, we understand, a tire issue, right, John Kernan?
That's what Rich Bickle believes. He thinks he has a right front tire going down, but the crew has told him, hey, you just need to get the air pressure built up in the right front. Just hang on, buddy. You'll be okay. But Rich thinks he has a right front going down. They're just telling him it's a matter that the air pressure has not built up yet.
Well, he has dropped back toward the rear of the field. The overhead shots courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam, which will be flying overhead Darlington all afternoon in the mostly cloudy skies.
And you talk about those cloudy skies, it's different than when they had happy hour here yesterday when the sun was basically shining. It's cooler. And didn't really have luck with some of the setups that they started with because they were expecting the sun to shine today.
Kenny Irwin running at second. There is Jeff Gordon now in third spot. And another factor, Benny, is the wind. It was very windy during the Busch race here yesterday. We found the same situation today.
Exactly right. The wind is blowing down the front stretch. Right now, these cars have a tailwind. It will blow them a little faster in turn one, which is not too bad because this is the slowest part of the racetrack. But as the cars go up Q1 and 2, and right there when they start turning back into the wind, it will cause the car to want to push up against the outside retaining wall, make the car more difficult to turn.
Dale Jarrett moving up through the field. Started in 36th position. He is now up to 32nd spot. And Jeff Burton now moves to the inside of Bobby Labonte. Here are a couple of drivers, 2 of the 5 going for the $1 million bonus, and Jeff Burton moves himself into 11th spot.
Right now, if you go in the garage area and poll all the mechanics, all the drivers, and ask them who's going to win this race, these two teams, Jeff Burton would win going away because everyone feels like the X-Side Ford is going to be the toughest guy to beat this afternoon.
As you can see, to identify those 5 drivers going for the No Bull 5, the spoilers are painted a fluorescent bright orange. Is it red or orange? Whatever it is. Anyway, it's bright.
Exactly. Back here, Mark Martin and Tony Stewart, another of the 2 of the No Bull contenders right now. Mark Martin is in the 16th position, and Tony Stewart is in 17th.
Mark Martin exactly where he started in 16th, and Tony Stewart has moved up 2 spots.
He told us on NASCAR today he had difficulty adjusting to the new tire that Goodyear brought here, but that was the same situation he had at Michigan and figured it out. There is Jeffrey Bodine, Sterling Marlin. And now Jeff Gordon makes a move on second place Kenny Irwin. So put Jeff Gordon now in second spot. And up there, still in the lead is Ward Burton.
And I was impressed by that move of Kenny Irwin because right now he needs a good run. He needs a good finish to try to get him a decent ride for the year 2000. He realizes there's no point in him using that car up this early. He backed off and let Jeff Gordon go.
Yeah, that's unlike we've seen Kenny do in the last year and a half, and I was proud of him for doing that. Don't need to force the issue this early in the race.
367 laps, up this 500-mile event here at Darlington. Keep an eye on all 43 drivers in the race, but especially keep your eye on 5. These 5 drivers are eligible for the Noble 5, and if they can win here at the Pepsi Southern 500 today, they will walk off with $1 million bonus, and one fan paired up with each of the drivers will also win $1 million. 10 laps have been completed. Here are the top 5. It's Burton, Gordon, Irwin, Nadeau, and Skinner.
Well, the cars are forming on the track for the Southern 500. Many of the old-timers are on the ground. Before the race, Jackie Stewart asked many of today's favorites what they were doing on the day of the very first Southern 500.
Running around in the pits just watching everybody go. I was 12 years old at that particular time.
I was about 9 years old, Jackie, and I was back in the mountains of North Carolina picking corn, I guess.
My mother was probably changing my diapers about the first time this race was run.
Well, I was in the infield down, I had a babysitter at that time, down in the far end down there. My dad was racing in the race.
Another moment from ESPN and NASCAR celebration of their 50th anniversary year. And BP, that was 25 years ago, and you had no more hair then than you do now.
Oh, I did have a little bit. I was
Not
impressed how
very
much hair I had.
Not very much.
You're right, not much.
Ward Burton, Jeff Gordon, and Kenny Irwin are the top 3 with about a second separation between first and second and about a 2-second separation between first and third. And first and second running about the same speed.
Jeremy Mayfield go by in the Mobile 1 Ford. He's the guy on the move. He started 11th. He's in 4th spot right now.
Bobby Labonte tries to pick up another position as he looks inside of Kevin LePage, but is unable to make the move right now.
Actually, Bobby has dropped back 5 positions from his 3rd position down. That he started in 9th position, now running in 12th.
Kevin LePage has a new crew chief this week. Matt Tyson moves over to be the crew chief on the number 16 TV Guide car. On board with Bobby Labonte as they come down the front straightaway.
Bobby tries to get a nose up under it, but couldn't quite do it.
Here's a Napa Field summary. We'll continue to show you this all afternoon. Who moves up and down in the point standings. Right now, Jeff Gordon has moved up another position in the points due to the fact that he's running in 2nd position. Both Kevin LePage and Bobby Labonte are catching up to Bill Elliott. We're on board with him. He currently runs in the 10th spot.
Bill hasn't lost anything, hasn't gained anything. Started 10th and still there.
Jeff Burton slowly making his way up through the field. Here he is to the inside of Jerry Nadeau, taking over that position.
Puts him up into the 5th spot after starting about 15th. Yes, he did. So he's gained 10 spots. As Jerry Nadeau, that Brian meets onboard camera, watches him go through 1 and 2.
For those of you who have not heard, Ernie Irvin has officially retired from racing. And now Mark Martin and Bobby Labonte both able to get by Kevin LePage. Jeff Gordon begins to close in on Ward Burton. It was almost a second a couple of laps ago, and now he's reduced it to about a 1/3 of the second. So Burton is under attack, Doc.
Indeed, Bob, but what Tommy Baldwin has told his driver is, although you pulled out to a comfortable lead, now you've got to be careful and save those tires. Exactly what Ned and Benny were talking about, tire management. What you would like to be able to do, and here again, it's what you would like to do, is be able to go at least 60 laps, 61 laps, and make this race on 5 pit stops. Now, you could go about 80 laps on fuel. Some can go a little further than that, but on the average, 75 or 80. But about 60 or 61 is all you want to try to push these tires. And that's why Ward may have backed off on the throttle a little bit, maybe while the 24 is closing in. By the way, they're telling Ward how close that Gordon is actually getting.
About 44 hundredths of a second right now. 4.5 car lengths or so.
behind them, we see that Jeremy Mayfield in the 12 car has caught Kenny Irwin, just a car length behind. And right now, Jeremy Mayfield, I started to say was the fastest car on the racetrack, but that's not true. It's Jeff Burton, the 5th place car, is faster than anyone right now. But he still is over 4.5 seconds behind the leader.
But he is moving up through the field. Jeff Burton is. Watch this battle for third.
Oh, man, he's up high. Trying to use all the racetrack. Talking about Jeremy Mayfield in that blue and white number 12. Trying to use all the racetrack to get the maximum grip.
And here is Jeff Burton in 5th position, about 4 seconds behind, but he's narrowed the interval between himself and his brother, who's leading.
About 3/4 of a second. You see Jeff Burton, look at those 31.5, 31.5, 31.4. And Ward Burton had 1:31.5, but we see now as he tails off from the end of that 5-lap run, the times are slowing down where Jeff Burton is able to maintain that speed.
Kenny Irwin running in 3rd spot, trying to hold off Jeremy Mayfield. Jeremy gets a good run, looks to the inside, and it looks like that he's going to be able to take 3rd position. Number 2 and down the backstretch. Mayfield now 3rd.
And here's a battle for the lead going in turn 3. But Jeff Gordon's front, Chevrolet in front.
Back on the inside, nope. So after leading the first 25 laps, the 26th lap is led by Jeff Gordon. How about our points leader, Dale Jarrett? He has moved up nicely. He's up to 23rd spot right now after starting back in 36th position. So Jeff Gordon takes the lead of the Pepsi Southern 500. Ward Burton is 2nd, then Mayfield, Kenny Irwin, and Jeff Burton. More live coverage from Darlington in a moment. Pepsi Southern 500 is 30 laps old. The NASCAR Winston Cup Series in its 24th race of 1999. Jeff Gordon beginning to lap some of the slower traffic. He puts Darrell Waltrip a lap down.
The last time by, Jeff Gordon ran 154 mile per hour average. This time 152.5 miles per hour. He lost 2 miles per hour making that pass on Darrell Waltrip coming off turn 4. It looks simple, but he lost 2 miles per hour. This racetrack is very, very tight, very narrow.
Jeff Burton running in 4th position. Looks pretty good. Is he running okay, Bill?
He's running okay, but right now it's not very comfortable inside that car, Bob. Jeff has told Frank Stoddard he's feeling a tremendous amount of heat coming into the car on his leg. He believes it's coming through the shifter. They were going to give him a blanket or some kind of wrap to go ahead and put around it, but he said, I'll have to fix it with one hand. Then Jeff said, when we fix this, let's make sure we fix it right. So when they pit, hopefully, for their sake, under a caution, they're going to either give him the materials to try and fix it, or they'll have to put somebody in that car to block that heat that's coming apparently through the shifter boot.
Not good. If it were on lap 232, he might be able to withstand the temperature, but here we are only on the 32nd lap, and Burton already has heat coming up through the car.
See Robert Presley going a lap down in the Jasper engine car. We see Jeremy Mayfield has caught Ward Burton, trying to move into 2nd spot as he goes by Jeremy wisely. Waits till he get off turn 2. That's a wicked corner, folks, at turn 2.
And there are a lot of cars beginning to slip and slide out there as we've gone about 33 laps now, and they've got those tires heated up and rubber on.
And here comes Jeff Burton.
And Dale Jarrett also moving through the traffic. He and Dale Earnhardt are battling for the 20th position. And Jarrett is going to get to the inside, out of the corner.
Carter says he's still there, still there. Now he has to
Ricky Rudd also coming up to do battle with Earnhardt. This is 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Dale Earnhardt in the 3 car and Ricky Rudd started 25th and 22nd, so both those guys have moved up just 3 or 4 spots.
Report is the 77 of Robert Presley got into the wall. Not that that is that unusual here at Darlington.
And look at this. Jeff Burton has gone by the 12 of Jeremy Mayfield. He's gone by Ward Burton, his brother. He has moved into 2nd spot as Jeremy takes over 3rd.
And he's only about a second behind the leader. It wasn't long. You was talking about him being 4 seconds behind Jeff Gordon.
Let's take a look at this incident involving Robert Presley and Ward Burton.
The blue car up on the outside, Ward Burton in the yellow and black car. And both Burton brothers go by, and Robert Presley slips up into the wall there just a little bit. Didn't look like he hit it too hard.
Just a Darlington stripe. So Ward Burton, who led the first 25 laps of this race, has now fallen back to 4th spot.
That's exactly what he told us on NASCAR today, that his car was really good for about 15 or 20 laps, but they had to figure out some way to make the car better on longer runs, and that's exactly what he's showing right here. He was terrific for 25 laps, and now he's starting to drift back.
Jeff Burton continues to close in on the leader of the race. Here is the interval, which has been reduced from 2.5 to 1 second.
But he's got a car since we did this AutoZone interval, and that now by passing that one car, Jeff Burton lost about a second to the leader.
Down to Jerry Punch.
Spoke with Jeff Burton and Frank Stoddard, his crew chief, in the garage this morning. And during happy hour yesterday, as you watch Jeff Burton now working traffic and going by the Dave Marcus car, in happy hour they ran 2 long runs, 2 runs approximating 40 laps. They saw a lot of guys after lap 30 to 35 begin to slip and slide. They came in, made adjustments, went back out, and their second long run, they actually got better after lap 30, which is exactly what we're seeing right now.
Yes, indeed. With lap 39 in the books now, it's a 1.9 second interval between Gordon and Jeff Burton, running first and second. What about Tony Stewart? Well, he is just passing Sterling Marlin and moving him into 13th spot.
There we see the Home Depot Pontiac as he comes off turn 2. Started 19th. Once again has moved up to the 13th position.
Sterling Marlin, the 55 car Kenny Wallace, which is hanging right in there in the 15th position.
Fans just jumped to their seats. Jumped to their feet, I should say, as Terry Labonte passed Dale Earnhardt for the 23rd position. Cleanly, I might add.
Yes.
As Bill Elliott has fallen back in the grasp of Tony Stewart.
We saw Elliott not long ago. He was running in 10th position where he started, but now he's about to lose 12th. He just did. He's back to 13th now.
If you were to consider only the last 6 races of the season, Tony Stewart has the best average finish of all drivers, 5.8. Here's Skinner, Elliott Sadler, and Bobby Labonte as they run 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Going in turn 3, and Elliott Sadler goes down, uses the apron in the racetrack. That's one of the big changes in this racetrack was they contoured the apron going in turn 3 much better than it was 20 or 30 years ago. Used to, Elliott Sadler, if he did that, would have crashed. But now he's able to use the racetrack, the apron a little bit. So Kenny Irwin, after being patient, now moves back into the 4th position.
Back to this battle involving 4 cars as Tony Stewart bears down on Labonte, Sadler, and Skinner.
Oh, 18 cars seem to want to get loose, jerk back. Well, he doesn't hold his teammate up too much as Elliott Sadler. Once again, using the apron going in turn 1. Passes Mike Skinner.
Sadler and the Wood Brothers car won 5 times here at this racetrack, beginning in 1968 with Cale Yarborough, and Neil Bonnet was the last to win for the Wood Brothers in 1981. And now here is Stewart down on the inside of Mike Skinner coming off corner number 4. They're side by side at the line, but Stewart gets the position going into 1.
So we put him in the 9th position.
And look, Jeff Burton has moved up close to Jeff Gordon. Less than a half a second now.
And Gordon is pitting Strickler a lap down. Boy, a lot of traffic back here. Look at Rusty Wallace down to the inside of Nemechek and coming up on his brother.
Right along with Jerry Nadeau, the Brian Meats onboard camera, the M&M's Pontiac, as he looks back at Elliott. A battle for the 12th position.
Got a replay for you to watch. Let's see what happens here.
Bobby Labonte goes on the inside of Mike Skinner, and here comes the 36 car. Almost hit him, but didn't. He locked the brakes, though.
He sure did.
And Bill Elliott gives him a little bit of a tap.
I'll tell you what, you lock the brakes like that, that could be bad news, putting a flat spot on these tires.
But Nadeau probably remembering what happened at Bristol last week when he was penalized 2 laps for a little rough driving. Wanted to take it easy here in the early going. There's the interval now between first and second as Jeff Burton has moved all the way up to be within 0.3 of a second, or just a matter of car lengths behind Jeff Gordon, the leader. And the 44 car of Kyle Petty.
He's in the pits.
Can't get in reverse. You're going to have to push it.
Aha. Car has no reverse. They're pushing it back behind the line to make everything legal. Down to Bill Weber.
And Bob, that's something to watch for all these cars down at that end of pit road. Remember, this is the old backstretch. The access to this side of the track on pit road is very, very difficult. Earnhardt has the very first pit stall down there. They're concerned about him getting in. Kyle could not see his pit stall. He's yelling back to the crew, I don't see it, I don't see it. Finally had to slide it to a stop. They had to push him back. Now he gets away. Long pit stop. Costly stop for them. Plus they had to change an engine this morning. To Jerry Punch.
Jerry Nadeau is in a wrestling match with a steering wheel right now, having to jam on brakes, as Benny commented on. Indeed, flat spotted those tires. He has told Ryan Pemberton that I am trying to hang on for 12 more laps as we have a lead change. And Jeff Burton will assume the lead here at Darlington, and Nadeau could not hold on. Apparently he is in the wall, and we will get caution, guys.
He is hard into the wall. We just saw him trying to pass Mike Skinner before we cut away to show you the battle for the lead, and now he and Skinner have both crashed, and there's flame coming out from underneath the low Chevy.
Well, they've knocked the fuel pump off that 31 car, and they've knocked the gas line off of it. As the engine rolls over, there's Jerry Nadeau's onboard cameras. He is taking his helmet off. Very slowly, I might add. Look at the damage to that M&M's Pontiac. Wow.
Nadeau removes the helmet, and Mike Skinner has also bailed out of his blazing race car and apparently is okay. But our first caution waves on Darlington Raceway here on the 51st lap of the race.
And there's a fire in the 36 car. It looks like a slight fire, but it's still going.
Here's the replay of what happened.
Oh! Ned, I believe that right front tire that he slid going in turn 3 let go as he came off turn 2.
And
watch how quickly it veers to the right.
Yes, it just shot right up into the wall.
But look at Dale Jarrett, the points leader, is right in the middle of things, and I believe he got through unscathed, but some great driving there by him and the drivers behind him.
He might have made a little bit of contact with Bill Elliott and maybe a little bit of sign contact with the 40 car.
John Kernan, how about it?
Well, I can see it back here from Dale Jarrett's pit. He got into the back of Bill Elliott, but they've looked at it and they don't think that there's any significant damage to the front end of Dale Jarrett's car. The car has been pretty good, just a little bit loose. They've been talking about the adjustments to make on the car as we get ready for the first round of pit stops.
Much needed pit stops, we might add. 50 laps completed. And this is a good time for everybody to come in and get some new tires. Bill Weber.
Short and straight, they tell Jeff Burton. Pit short, pit straight. Puts on the brakes, squares the wheel. The car is a little loose off of the turn 4 and tight off of 2. They make a slight air pressure adjustment. Right side tires going on. They're going to have to pick up the car and help them get the jack underneath. They're getting the left side tires on. Burton will lead away shortly. He's on his way for Jerry Punch.
They have taken one round of wedge out of the right rear. Gordon is down and away. Great pit stop. Here comes Burton, and they will race, but both Burtons are almost door to door, racing to the end of pit road.
Gordon went right between both of the Burtons. John Kernan in the backstretch.
And while the work on the front stretch is done, Dale Jarrett just pulls into his pit stall. They will make it a chassis adjustment, trying to tighten the car in just a little bit. A 4-tire change. There goes 2 rounds down on the track bar to tighten it up. There goes Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton, both the guys on the front stretch. DJ's crew just now getting around to the left side, but it's a good pit stop. He is down and away.
Wow, look at that. 15.6, John.
Well, it was 15th when he went into the pits. Let's see how he stacks up when he comes out of the pits, pitting on the backstretch.
We talked about Jerry Nadeau when he was following Bill Elliott and went down in the corner and ran in the back of Bill Elliott. We had an onboard camera with Bill Elliott. Well, I'm sorry, he's right behind. He was going to run in the back of Mike Skinner. Watch it. Look at the black mark on the racetrack. The black mark on the racetrack tells me just how much he locked that tire up and how much of a flat spot he put on that tire. And that's what happened to the right front as he came off turn 2.
Now we jump on board with him. So Jerry Nadeau and Mike Skinner both have crashed here at Darlington. The race under caution for the first time. Welcome back to Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. The Pepsi Southern 500, 53 laps old, under our first caution of the day. The accident involves Jerry Nadeau and Mike Skinner, both drivers okay.
Watching, you can see the tire come apart on the 36 car just before. See the pieces fall off the car just before he hits the wall? So the flat-spotted right front tire goes flat as he comes off turn 2 and hits that wall.
Now listen as we go to his onboard.
The engine is revving, sitting down there, the throttle home.
Now watch the battle off pit road. Jeff Gordon is going to go right between the Burton boys. Jeff on the left and Ward on the right. Here they come off pit road, and a little bit of contact there between Gordon and Jeff.
Burton, yes.
Yeah. Bill has an update on Skinner.
Well, the low Chevy is back here in the garage, and this crew has a lot of work to do. Mike, what happened?
I guess Jerry blew a tire. I really don't know what happened. Run along pretty good for a change at the Darlington for the Lowe's car, and was pretty excited. Was a little bit tight right there, just waiting to get in our pit, do an adjustment, and really felt like we had a good car today. And kind of slowed down a little bit. Jerry passed me, and I think he blew a tire coming off 2 over there, and he went directly in the wall and come back across us. Wasn't nothing I could do.
Okay, well, Mike Skinner, one of the early casualties here at Darlington. The Pepsi Southern 500 continues after the first round of caution flag stops. The green flag when we come back to Darlington.
The Pepsi Southern 500 at Darlington about to go back under green flag conditions after our first caution. This will be the green on lap number 57. Down on the inside of the leader of the race, Jeff Gordon, now slides up between first and second. John now has an update on Jerry Nadeau.
Bob, the good news is Jerry is basically okay. They're taking him to the care center to get checked out. He took such a hard lift, he may have had the wind knocked out of him. And John Hendrick told me that he was fairly shaken up. They want to get him over there and get him checked out, but he basically is okay and walked under his own power to the golf cart to take him to.
Check this out, the 26 car trying to get a lap back, and Jeff Burton goes into the lead. Johnny Benson, and here comes Ward Burton on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Look, appears that Jeff Gordon is having a problem.
Huge response from the crowd as Gordon drops back to 3rd position, and the Burton brothers from Virginia go to the 1st and 2nd positions. Johnny Benson has gotten his lap back. And Jeremy Mayfield goes around Jeff Gordon also.
I would say that Jeff Gordon is being very careful not to put too much strain and pressure on those tires here in the first few laps with those new tires. And then once the pressure gets built up, then I think we'll see him contend again.
Ward Burton takes the lead. Jeremy Mayfield tries for 2nd. Jerry has more on Gordon, who's all the way back there behind Jeremy.
Well, Ned Jarrett, you are exactly right. That's exactly what Jeff Gordon is doing. And what Ray Evernham told him before the green flag came out, he said expect the 22 car to be awfully strong. The 99 car is very stout throughout the run. 22 will be strong early on. The 12 is dialed in. Run our pace, take care of our tires. It'll come to us. Just be patient.
Mayfield takes second from Jeff Burton. Mayfield is on the move. Johnny Benson does have his lap back. The big story there is that Cheerios will be going to a full-time sponsorship in the Richard Petty team beginning at the Pepsi 400 in Daytona next year. And a close call for the points leader, Dale Jarrett.
Coming off of turn 2, he gets, we're really going into turn 3, gets on the inside of Jeffrey Bodine, and his car gets very, very loose right there. Bodine backs off and he almost gets it into the wall, but gathers it back in.
That was a very close call.
And Joe Nemechek is in trouble coming off of 2, but the man saved it. Wow, he had it totally sideways. I don't know if we have that on camera or not, but I was looking straight at him and he was looking straight at the infield.
Dale Jarrett has moved up to 17th position. He's picked up 3 positions since the drop of the green flag. Came out in the 20th spot after those pit stops.
And these are lap cars, Dave Marcus and Robert Presley, that are running side by side.
When you talk about how the new tires can help, look at this.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? It's over 2 1/4 seconds difference between the fresher tires. We see Johnny Benson trying to stay on the tail of the lead lap, but Ward Burton is going to put him a lap down going down in turn 1. And here comes Jeremy. He's been wanting to go in there too abreast, but he made it work for him.
It looks like Gordon is sort of settled back in, and he has that pressure build up the way that he would like for it to be. Come back over here.
And Mark Martin is also right behind Jeff Gordon, running in the 5th. Bobby Labonte, Elliott Sadler in the top 10 in 8th position. Kenny Irwin, our pole sitter, 9th, and Tony Stewart running in 10th. That's the way they are at the end of 63 laps. Jeremy Mayfield closing in on the leader. Ward Burton. Jeremy is not led yet today. He tries to get the lead away, takes it deep into the corner, forces Burton up the racetrack, and gets the lead.
That was an impressive pass. And Ward Burton didn't move over and let Jeremy Mayfield go by in turn 3. He just kind of drove it in there and took that spot away. Tony Stewart goes by the 28 car Kenny Irwin and takes over the 9th position.
One of the Noble 5 contenders, Tony Stewart. And the brothers Burton are back at it in the battle for second.
And back behind them is Jeff Gordon, and Mark Martin is right on his bumper, and Bobby Hamilton right there as well. We haven't talked much about Bobby Hamilton today. He had a great qualifying run and sitting there in 6th position with the leaders in sight.
Mark Martin has finished 8th or better in 5 of the last 7 races here. He finished 5th here in the spring. One of those bad races was in last year's Southern 500. He started 10th but finished in 40th position. It's Jeremy Mayfield drilling the way in the 1999 50th running of the Pepsi Southern 500. Back in a moment. Jeremy Mayfield has just about a 1-second advantage on Ward Burton and about a 1.5-second advantage on Jeff Burton, who is running in 3rd spot, followed by Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon. And there is Joe Nemechek moving to the inside of Kenny Irwin and taking over the 10th position.
Boy, Nemechek in that Bell South car got a terrific run off of turn 1 in the middle of 1 and 2. And made a power move off 2 to go down the backstretch. Now then you see Tony Stewart up there in front of Joe Nemechek. Can he catch him?
Got quite a bit of racetrack between those 2 cars. Stewart running up there in 9th and Nemechek in 10th. In fact, from the onboard camera, you can just barely see Nemechek back there with that blue dot. for the 14th position involves 3 drivers. That's Bill Elliott, who right now is running 14th. Back in 15th is Dale Earnhardt, and Ken Schrader trying to take it away from Dale.
Moves down on the inside and takes the position away, and here comes Matt Kenseth having a good run here today. He's trying to move on the inside of Dale Jarrett. Jarrett, don't fight him. Just said, okay, go right ahead.
Kenseth up to 17th. Jarrett is in 18th. Back up front there is Jeff Burton, followed by Ward Burton. And Jeff has gone into second position. Bill, what's the update on the heat situation that you reported on earlier?
Well, Bob, during that pit stop, they gave Jeff Burton some additional tie wraps to help tie off the shifter boot. They also wanted to give him a pad. He didn't see it. It was on the end of the water stick. He didn't see it. He didn't take it that time. But what they've done is they brought it back here to the pit, and they put a bunch of tape on it. When he gets it during the next pit stop, he's going to use all that tape to put it onto the leg brace along his right thigh, and that should shield his leg from the heat that's coming in through the shifter boot. He hasn't complained about it much, but they're just under 300 laps to go here. This is a very long day. Also, during that yellow flag stop, there was contact between the 99 and the 24 at pit exit. Betty Parrott says that Burton has just enough damage on the left front to make his car a little tight.
Matt Kenseth, the rookie, is used to battling a 3-car in Busch Series activity, driven by Dale Earnhardt Jr. and just passed Junior's old man.
Goes by Dale Earnhardt. Here comes DJ Dale Jarrett on the inside, and he will take over the 17th position. Put Kenseth up in 16th.
More from John Kernan.
Matt Kenseth told me yesterday that he had a goal of running all the laps today, and then he said, hey, I'd like to finish in the top 10 at Darlington. Remember, he filled in for Bobby Labonte, climbed in the car, and he came through the top 10 finish in the Trans-South Financial 400 earlier this year right here at Darlington. He said that certainly helped. The team also a couple of weeks ago came down here and ran a ton of laps. This is the same race car that Matt drove to a 14th place finish at Michigan just a few weeks ago, and it is one of Mark Martin's old cars. And Matt says basically the only car they have right now. In fact, they're going to run this car at Dover as long as it doesn't get torn up today.
Ward Burton surrendering the 4th position to Jeff Gordon.
See Bobby Hamilton still hanging on back there.
Mark Martin has moved up to 3rd now.
Jerry has more on Ward Burton.
Well, he has lost 3 positions, Bob, in the last 3 laps, and I just radioed a moment ago to Tommy Baldwin and said, despite our air pressure and wedge changes, this car is now starting to get loose again coming off the corner. And he is certainly having a little problem coming off the corner now. One guy who's running awfully well and is very pleased with his car right now is right behind Ward. That's the car number 4 of Bobby Hamilton. And Bobby's been going to their race shop every Monday and Tuesday and studying the notes, trying to do something to turn their luck around. This morning, he told the crew, after studying the notes most of the night, let's radically change this car. If I'm wrong, then I'm the one that has to deal with it. I got to drive it. But if I'm right, we'll have a great shot today running the top 5. And obviously, thus far, he must have been right.
He's just 1 position outside of the top 5 right now. He did have his best start of 1999 in the top 5. Darlington in the spring started 17th and finished 7th, and Ward Burton will give him the position. Jeremy Mayfield continues to lead in this race.
Has himself a good lead too, Bob.
About a 2.5-second lead, as a matter of fact. Let's watch his line as he goes around here.
You see, he's going very, very high here through the, well, in fact, about every turn around here. A little bit higher than we've seen normally at this stage of the racetrack. We're watching him go into turn 3 here now. And you see he starts down low, but then drifts up very high, up very close to the wall. A lot of other cars are doing that too, but it's certainly working for Jeremy Mayfield.
Comes off turn 4 and just right up against that outside retaining wall. They talked to me about testing this tire and just how comfortable that tire is, and it looks like for anyone to run that close to the wall, the tire has to be very, very comfortable. It has to have a lot of confidence in the car and the tires to be able to do that.
Joe Nemechek moving to the inside of Hunt Strickland. Hunt is not on the lead lap in this race. We do want to say hi to Scott Barber, the owner of Hunt Strickland's car, who's recovering from some minor surgery. And they also picked up a sponsor on this car, Interstate Steel, for the Pepsi Southern 500. Nemechek now closing in on the 20 car of Tony Stewart. Oh, they're 3 wide.
Man, good thing that Strickland did not force the issue, because he backs off and lets Nemechek take over that 9th position.
Since Nemechek scared me coming off of turn 2 over there about 15 laps ago, he was on the move.
And Elliott Sadler just passed Bobby Labonte and went into the 7th position.
Well, Elliott Sadler having a great run here today for the Wood Brothers.
Fastest car on the racetrack right now is Mark Martin, who's running back in the 3rd position. Mayfield, Jeff Burton lead him. Jeff Gordon and Bobby Hamilton complete the top 5. We're 84 laps into the race. From the Pennzoil Copter Cam, great overhead view of this egg-shaped facility here in South Carolina. Darlington, to be exact. 90 laps are in the books in the 1999 50th running of the Pepsi Southern 500. Jeremy Mayfield is the leader of the race by about 2.5 seconds over Jeff Burton. This is the same car that Jeremy Mayfield drove here at Darlington in the spring. Finished 2nd. And he also ran this car at the 2nd Michigan race, qualified 5th and finished in 18th position.
All right, now let's see how Jeremy handles on the bottom of the racetrack, because as he catches Dave Marcus, Marcus takes it outside line, and Jeremy, oh, he couldn't pass on the bottom. So there's a weak point.
Mayfield's got to run that high line. He gets 2 wheels down on the apron that time, and Marcus is going to allow him to go by. Every race, after the race is over, we have a NASCAR involving someone. This weekend, it is Bill Weber. So about a half hour after the race is completed, jump over to www.nascar.com, and you can chat with Bill Weber and ask him what he thinks of today's running of the Pepsi 400. Maybe a little bit longer than a half hour, but just jump on there and wait for Bill to join you for the chat. Has dropped all the way back to 7th position. That may mean a problem, right, Jerry?
Well, the cars and handlings we commented on about 15 laps ago, but the big concern right now is he radioed Tommy Baldwin and said the throttle is sticking wide open. And Tommy said make sure nothing in the floorboard like insulation or nothing has gotten cocked up against the pedal. And Ward is just basically using the throttle and then using his foot to pull it back to make sure he doesn't hang open. I wouldn't want to have that for the rest of the afternoon here at Darlington. Obviously, that'd be pretty tough, guys.
Me either. Man, oh man, he didn't hang up that time. Otherwise, he'd have popped the wall. But he is driving the car much more carefully as he was done before, because we see the 21 car closing in on the Caterpillar Pontiac. That's Elliott Sadler.
It's Jeremy Mayfield setting the stage. Here is Dale Jarrett getting to the inside of Tony Stewart. And Jarrett has moved all the way up now to 13th position. And Stewart loses a couple of spots as Rusty goes by.
Yeah, he's lost about 5 or 6 spots in the last 6 or 8 laps. His car apparently just blew away. He's having a tough time getting off of turn 2. And as we look out the windshield of Rusty Wallace's car.
Bill, what's the deal with Tony Stewart?
Well, he likes half the track, and half the track doesn't like him, Bob. He's good in 1 and 2, but loose in 3 and 4. So he's having to battle it in 3 and 4, and that's where he's losing a lot of time in a lot of track positions. Jerry Funk?
And Bobby Labonte likewise is now dropping back on that initial pit stop on lap 51. The car was a bit tight. They made an air pressure adjustment and they adjusted the track bar. And according to the team, they may have gone too far, because Bobby's communication is, guys, I'm all over the place. It is so loose out here, I can't drive it. They said, just hang on. We'll fix it on the next pit stop.
Sadler having a very, very good race here this afternoon in the first 100 laps. It's a little bit high there in the corner, but is in pursuit of Ward Burton.
And you see on the quarter panel an 800 number. It's 1-800-FIGHT-MD. Trying to aid on his onboard camera, Sitco onboard camera. They're trying to aid the telethon this weekend and raise some more money for muscular dystrophy.
Nearing the 100 lap mark, and we're also not too far away probably from the next round of pit stops. They're the top 5. Back to Darlington in a moment. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch back with you at the Pepsi Southern 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Here's the battle for 13th position. Right now we're on board with Dale Jarrett, who is in 14th. Get up there and pass Terry Labonte.
Well, actually, Terry Labonte just passed him coming by the start-finish line and took that position away.
John Kernan has more on Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett just radioed in and told Todd Carrot that it's a little bit car has gotten loose on him, especially in the center of the turn. Now, Labonte and his crew have been talking about pitting in about 15 to 20 more laps. We anticipate DJ being on the same schedule, but right now, Dale Jarrett, the point leader, has a handful with a loose race car.
Board now with Rusty Wallace, who's back there in 15th position. And for a taste of the race, let's check out the telemetry on Rusty's car from Brian Meets.
So he gets down to 6,000 RPMs, about 125 miles per hour. And we battle for the lead. Here comes Gordon on the inside of Jeremy Mayfield in turn 3. And guess what? Put the DuPont Chevrolet. Ned, I think you're right. He had those tires, the air pressure down. He gets rode around and got the air pressure built back up, and that 24 car back in front. Oh, look at all this traffic right in front of him.
And the 20 car just continues to drop back, and now he stands a good chance of going a lap down here. That's Tony Stewart, of course.
It's dropped all the way back to 27th.
Bill, what's going on?
Well, the handle's just totally gone away. They told Tony to be patient and just try and find your rhythm. He said, I'm doing all I can do right now. Gordon going to go around him. They're going to put the car back where it was when they pit again, but after about 3 or 4 cars in a row went by him as he falls behind Gordon. Now Mayfield in a pack looking at the 20 car. Tony goes, is there anybody on the track that hasn't passed us yet?
Well, this is not a common sight in 1999. Tony Stewart getting lapped and losing positions. It's usually the other way. Things are not going well here, at least in the first third of this Pepsi Southern 500, back in 30th position. Now, BP, we interrupted you. Actually, you interrupted yourself when we had the lead change. So let's go back on board with Rusty.
Now, we've several laps on these tires, and you'll see when you go into our telemetry on our Brian Meets onboard taste of the race, you'll see down to 118 miles per hour, about 6,000 RPM. The tires are worn, so I would expect to see much more than about 8,500 RPMs down the front stretch, about 85, 86. Now, when they put new tires on and we go back on board with Rusty Wallace on the Miller Lite car, we're probably looking at 9,000 RPMs and a lot more miles per hour.
Tony Stewart has had enough. He is rolling in, Bill.
4,100 RPM in second gear for the Home Depot Pontiac. They're going to make a wedge adjustment for the round and a half in the left rear and then try and get the car back to where it was on the first one. Very frustrating run here for Tony Stewart. Again, he's one of the guys eligible for the no bull $5 million bonus. Right sides are on. Come around for the left sides on. Plenty of fuel in there to clean the grill, and now Tony will try it again. Again, the pit road speed 4,100, 55 off pit road, and Bill Elliott also hitting pit road now.
As is Kenny Wallace, so we are seeing some early pit stops here on board with Bill as he stops the McDonald's Ford, and the crew goes to work in Kenny Wallace. Also in Bill Weber.
On the 55 and the 94 both getting right side tires, a track bar adjustment for Bill Elliott to come around to the left side on both these cars. 109 laps now on the board here at Darlington. Fuel going in. Kenny Wallace will leave first, having some trouble on the left rear on Elliott's car. Long stop for Bill Elliott, he heads back out.
And you see him smoking those rear tires when he lets the clutch out. That's not good. You want to pit, just put out the pit area here, because the pit road is worn as a racetrack, and abrasive, it will wear the tires as you drive next to pit road if you use too much accelerator.
The top two here, Rusty and Jeff Gordon, Mayfield, separated by just a couple of car lengths. Jeff Gordon runs in third, about 1 3/4 seconds behind the leader. Mark Martin and Joe Nemechek complete the top 5. So Joe Nemechek is having a good run.
He's having a terrific run. For the last 3 or 4 laps, he has been the fastest car on the racetrack. There we see Terry Labonte, the Kellogg's car, move into the 11th position, passing Kenny Irwin.
He has just been marching right up through the field, Terry Labonte has. Started way back there in 37th position.
Once again, he told us on NASCAR today that he felt like he had a great car, just didn't qualify well. And once again, that's proven to be correct.
Terry Labonte is in his 42nd consecutive race here at Darlington. His very first start in his career was 21 years ago in this race in September of 1978, and his first win came here at Darlington 19 years ago in the Pepsi Southern 500 in 1980. Ooh, Mark Martin just bobbled and lost 1 position to Nemechek.
Cost him a spot as he came off turn 4. Car got a little bit loose, and Nemechek is there to pounce on top of it. Nemechek is only just a little under 4 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon.
Nemechek, of course, will not be back in this car in the year 2000. Where will he be? Don't know yet. Jerry Punch has more.
I spoke with Joe Nemechek in the garage this morning, guys, and he said a lot of people have called him, and obviously one of the places he would love to be considered to go would be the Robert Yates car. So would Johnny Benson, so would Wally Dallenbach, and anyone else who's out of a ride and would like to be able to run up front. But the question has been, they said Joe can qualify well and start well, but they question his aggressiveness once the green flag drops. I think that made Joe mad, so he wanted to prove something today with running up front here at a tough racetrack to show he could get the job done if he got a chance in the 28 car.
All right, now Kenny Irwin is headed toward Robert Yates and the crew as he is looking for a ride. He will not be in this car next year. Jerry, let's call it stop.
And indeed, he would like to be able to show people that he can get the job done. Had a great run going here in the spring, and was running 10th when he got called in an accident late in the race and ended up getting a disappointing finish outside the top 30. Left side tires now going on. Slight air pressure adjustment. They're cleaning the windshield. And now Kenny Irwin, our pole sitter, is down and away.
And John Andretti comes in on the backstretch pit. The STP Pontiac slides to a stop.
Coming in there also is Dale Jarrett on the backstretch.
And John Kernan is right there.
Dale Jarrett pulls into his pit stall. This is what they want, pitting on the back. They want pit stops to go under the green flag because they think that it's a lot easier to enter this backstretch pits. They will make a chassis adjustment a round and a half down on the left rear to try and tighten the car up. DJ had radioed in just 2 laps ago and said that it was very, very loose. He is away to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And they put the handle in the right rear. Ward Burton's going to drop the track bar and try to help the rear into the car. Ward Burton said the rear of the car is terrible after about 15 laps. By the way, they were able to fix the throttle thing. Ward did something pop, and the throttle came back up. He is now down and away as they await the pit stop of Jeff Gordon and Jeremy Mayfield, who are going to pit at the same time, probably next time by.
They're coming right now, Jerry. They're coming towards you, coming off of the second turn. Bobby Labonte coming in as well. Ken Schrader is in.
See Jeffrey Bodine stopping just in front of Jeff Gordon. As Dale Earnhardt exits pit road, here comes Gordon into his pit crew as Jeremy Mayfield stops and they go to work on the right side. Jerry Punch.
Watch the right rear. They're going to put a handle in, make a wedge adjustment. Gordon's car still a little bit loose. Mayfield is in for an air pressure adjustment up in front of Bill.
Jeremy Mayfield already has right side tires, left side's going on. And he's away. Jerry.
Windshield being cleaned on Jeff Gordon's car. He is down and away. Mayfield and Jeffrey Bodine will follow Gordon back out. Let's go back up to Bill.
And Jeff Burton makes the slow trip down pit road and slides to a stop. Remember, they're going to try and give him that cushion this time so he can shield his leg from the heat. He was everyone's favorite coming into this race. They're going to make a chassis adjustment, a major chassis adjustment on the right side. Right side tire is already going on. Left side tire is being put on now. Fuel going in. Expecting his teammate Mark Martin on pit road. Burton's going to have to weave his way out of pit road. Remember, he had contact with Gordon earlier when he stopped under yellow.
Joe Nemechek had taken the lead, but he now is in the pits.
And it's the first time that Joe Nemechek has ever led here at Darlington, and the fourth race of 1999 that he has led, most recently at Daytona. To John Kernan as Terry Labonte pits.
Right side's already on, left side's going on. No chassis adjustment. Just a little bit slow with the left front tire. Cost him maybe a second or 2 seconds. And Terry Labonte is down and away to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Elliott Sadler, who's having a heck of a run today, getting service now from the Wood brothers, who have won 10 times at Darlington Raceway. Slight air pressure adjustment in the car, just a bit loose. Left side tire is going on the Simcoe. Ford Taurus, and they get the windshield clean. It's going to go over for Mark Martin's stop.
Tested here twice, before the spring race and about 3 weeks ago, because he felt he could never quite get the handle on this racetrack. His car started to tighten up again. They made a little bit of an air pressure adjustment. He's on his way, 4,200 in second gear.
Martin did pick up 5 bonus points for leading, however, led 1 lap before he came in for the stop.
That'll probably cost him a good bit of time out on the racetrack, since the other stopped earlier. They'll be running about 2 seconds a lap faster than he was running. But, of course, he has the new tires on there now, but I think it was worth it to get those 5 bonus points.
And so everything recycles back to Jeremy Mayfield as the leader on the track as he comes up on the 98 car of Rick Mast. 121 laps are in the books in the 1999 Pepsi Southern 500. Pepsi Southern 500 from Darlington Raceway here on ESPN is being brought to you by Daytona USA, the official attraction of NASCAR. By AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. And by Brian, the flavor of the South, proud sponsor of car number 30. At Darlington Raceway, South Carolina, 125 laps completed, and the second round of pit stops have been accomplished. Jeremy Mayfield is the leader of the race. Jeff Burton is second right now, about a second behind. Jeff Gordon third, then Nemechek and Mark Martin.
This is Ricky Rudd between the 2 cars. The Planters Peanuts onboard camera. Looking out the back as Jeff Burton closes in. Ricky Rudd goes on the inside of Wally Dallenbach. Now Jeff Burton trying to do the same thing. He will.
There are 23 cars on the lead lap. 40 and the 17 are having a good battle. This is Sterling Marlin and Matt Kenseth, and Kenseth continues to be in the top 10. A great run for the young man who is not yet a rookie in the Winston Cup Series, will be next year. John Kernan.
Bob, during that round of pit stops, Matt had worked his way all the way up to the 7th position, but they had a problem with the right rear, a little bit slow getting that changed, and that cost him a few seconds, cost him 3 spots out on the racetrack. Now he makes the pass and moves around into 9th.
He is a rookie, but not a rookie contender in the bestest rookie of the year running.
Watch that, huh?
Oh, look at that.
That's one advantage to being a rookie, Ned. He just doesn't know any better.
He'll take chances that some others who have been picked by this racetrack won't take.
He does have experience on this racetrack in the Busch Series, has won here. So it isn't exactly a unfamiliar territory to him. David Green has gone behind the wall. Why, John?
Bob, the camshaft is broken on the 41 car, and so they're going to pull the distributor out just to make sure, but they think the camshaft is broken on the 41.
So that car is off the racetrack. Earlier in the event, we had a crash involving Jerry Nadeau and Mike Skinner. Those 2 cars are off the racetrack, but other than that, everybody is still running.
And once again, just like before, Jeff Gordon came out right behind Jeremy Mayfield, but Jeremy has pulled away from Jeff Gordon. As a matter of fact, Jeff Burton has moved by him in the second spot. Jeff Gordon back to third spot, but at the end of this run, we once again expect to see Jeff Gordon be one of the faster cars. And Ricky Rudd still staying right there between the two cars of Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Burton.
He is 24th. A lap down, position between the first and second runners. Ward Burton and Bobby Hamilton running here in the 6th and 7th position.
Bobby Hamilton's been on the move since his pit stop. He had dropped back to about 10th position, but now has taken over the 6th position from Ward Burton and is just marching right on up through there.
Bobby finished 41st at Bristol last week and as a result lost 3 positions in the point.
Oh, trouble here on the front straightaway. Michael Walker.
Caution's out. Wave them off behind you. Spin on the front stretch. Wave these guys off. Car sitting in the middle of the group past start finish line.
20 car of Tony Stewart went down pit road. It could have been an evasive maneuver.
I think that he was coming into the pits, Bob, for an unscheduled pit stop. Bill?
Yeah, he had talked it over with Greg Zipadelli. They couldn't figure out what the problem was. It was more than just the tires when he came in last time. They were speculating it might be a rear end gear problem that they might have had once before in the Busch car. They were going to check that out, but he was on pit road when the 7 crashed. They told him to get back out as quick as he could without speeding. Pit road right now closed while they capture the field.
Second caution of the afternoon. It involves Michael Walter, but it was right here on the front straightaway. Up at the top of your screen, you see the car coming off of turn 4.
And, wow, heavy contact with that inside retaining wall.
And he comes back up sort of to the middle of the racetrack, and you see the leaders coming up through there. And Ricky Rudd looks like might have got back in front of Jeremy Mayfield there and got back on the lead lap.
And Darrell Waltrip also racing, trying to get a lap back.
Darrell was already 4 laps down.
Tony Stewart is having problems, and so is the 18 car of Bobby Labonte. Both of these drivers, no Bull 5 candidates, Doc.
And it's not a very good day for either one of them. Bobby Labonte just a moment ago said that the car had begun to sputter. They thought that maybe a plug wire off, but now they're thinking it may be more internal in the engine, maybe with a valve or possibly the head of a valve. They may have dropped the valve. They're going to come in. They're going to change 4 tires, try to get him back out, and then we'll come back in and raise the hood. And Steve Allen, one of the engine men, will go underneath the hood and see if they can figure out what the problem is. They're hoping it may be a spark plug wire, but it was getting sicker and sicker those last couple of laps. So the pit road now was not open. The reason they decided to come in because the penalty would be you have to go to the back of the longest line anyway. So go ahead and make 1 stop and then come around and make another stop because you'll be in the back of the line when the restart occurs.
A great deal lost there for Bobby. Pit road finally opens here as a result of this crash that occurred on the front straightaway. And here come those on the lead lap down for a stop. Bill Weber.
Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Burton following each other down pit road. Mayfield 2 stalls ahead. He'll make a wedge adjustment. It's air pressure only for Burton. And they also want to make sure they clean the grill and get 1 layer of plastic off the windshield. Burton sitting on pit road. Carlson's got the water bottle. He also got a bag of ice. Left sides are on. The 12 of the 99 are heading toward Jerry Punch.
4 tires, clean the windshield, no adjustments. Mayfield goes by. Gordon will jump in line right in front of Jeff Burton.
Meanwhile, it's busy back on the backstretch, John.
Dale Jarrett is in. They'll go 2.5 rounds down on the track bar on the right side to tighten the car up just a little bit. Here come Mayfield, Gordon, and those guys, but a good stop going for Jarrett. The lug nuts are tight. He's down and away. Terry Labonte is away, and Matt Kenseth is also on pit road getting service.
I think all of Jarrett's pit stops have been in the 15-second range, but the 40 cars behind the wall, Bill.
Yeah, they're heading that way, Bob. Hole in the radiator, smoke billowing from underneath the hood. They brought Sterling back in. They actually brought him down pit road a a lap early. Then they put raised the hood, put the water in, found the hole in the radiator. He's behind the wall.
Dale Earnhardt makes a pit stop. Jim Goodrich plus Chevy getting fresh tires on the left side. Fuel going in.
Now Earnhardt had gone a lap down during the exchange really on the green flag pit stop.
We'll take a break and be back with more of our live coverage from Darlington, South Carolina of the Pepsi Southern 500. Stay with us. ESPN glad to have you with us on this Labor Day Sunday weekend for the running of the 50th Pepsi Southern 500 from Darlington in South Carolina. Jerry Nadeau earlier in the race, flat spotted the tires. Ryan Pemberton looked on. Then seconds later, the car gets up into the wall, right front tire down, hits the wall hard, collects Mike Skinner in the process. Jerry Nadeau was taken out of the car. He got out of the car with his own power, but just for observation, he has been taken to Carolina Medical Center, and they did airlift him there. Nothing of urgency as far as his medical condition is concerned. They just want to avoid all the Labor Day traffic and get him there as quickly as possible. Bobby Labonte is in the pits.
Carolina's Medical Center is in Charlotte, and I'm sure that's where Nadeau preferred to go back home, so that's a couple hours away. Jerry Punch?
And guys, Bobby Labonte coming back in to top it off. They've gone over with the crayon and marked the exhaust headers, and it's firing on all 8 cylinders, but according to Steve Allen, it's probably broken something, maybe a lifter inside, and as he put it, it's getting ugly inside the motor, so they're going to try to ride it out as best they can, but they probably won't make it according to some of the long faces here, and folks, that's going to be tough. He's third in the points.
So among the Noble 5 drivers, really the only 2 that are in contention at this point, at least in the top 10, would be Jeff Burton, who is running 3rd, and Mark Martin, who is in the 8th position. ESPN is in its 10th season of covering Major League Baseball for you on Sunday night. And at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, the matchup involves the Yankees and the Angels. Defending world champion Yanks trail the Indians by 1 game in the race for the best record in the American League. Join us at 8 o'clock tonight here on ESPN for Sunday Night Baseball. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
We are back to racing.
And we see Jeff Burton trying to line Jeff Gordon once again on the green flag situation, taking over the 2nd position.
There's a Napa Field summary points really changing as a result of what's happened so far here with Gordon up 1 and Jeff Burton up 1.
Tony Stewart, the one dropping out of the top 5. Tony is having a tough day. He's back in the 8th position.
Bobby Hamilton go by Ward Burton. The Kodak Film Chevrolet takes over the 6th position. Hamilton trying to run that Jeremy Mayfield line as Rusty Wallace goes on the bottom of the racetrack to Miller Lite for Taurus.
Heavy traffic back here, and right in the middle of it is the points leader, Dale Jarrett.
You don't like to be in that situation, but he lost 8 positions on the pit stop. It was under 16 seconds as a result of hitting on the backstretch.
On board with Ricky Rudd, who runs in 16th spot.
Who did get his lap back on the leader, Jeremy Mayfield, in that last caution flag when Michael Walter. And we see Matt Kenseth just drive up on the inside of Ricky Rudd, trying to take over 16th.
Rudd coming off his best performance of 1999 last weekend at Bristol. He finished in 3rd spot, but he loses the position to Matt Kenseth here.
Boy, I tell you what, right behind them is a dogfight going on between all these cars. Terry Labonte included. Labonte's back at 18th.
Of course, Terry is one of those drivers pitting on the backstretch as well, and he lost a lot of positions on that pit stop.
Steve Park, Kyle Petty, Brett Bodine racing wheel to wheel with Bill Elliott looking on and Hutch Stewart.
Steve Park, the Pennzoil Chevrolet, is back in the 19th spot. Both the 11 and 44 are laps down. Here's Elliott trying to go 3 wide down the backstretch.
Took to go 2 wide here, but Elliott able to pull it off.
Tony Stewart, meanwhile, another one of the Global 5 drivers back in 28th position, and he is a lap down. What's the latest, Bill?
Bob, they don't know what it is, but they know what it isn't. So they suspect that he has a broken...
trouble down in turn 3.
Stay down, stay down, stay down.
Oh, I see other cars crashing.
Jarrett, it looked like, got through, but a lot of cars running around him didn't, including Matt Kenseth. Steve Grissom was the one to originally crash. A couple of other badly damaged cars to the left of your screen there.
Kenny Wallace.
And Ted Musgrave.
Well, that looks like.
Yeah, looks like he's got some damage there on the left rear, but boy, he dodged a big bullet right there.
He had just passed Kenny Wallace coming off of turn 2, going down the backstretch, and then that started happening in front of him, and he slowed down. He got slowed down enough, but it looked like somebody hit him from the rear, but not. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage to it.
There we see the 9 car, Steve Grissom, going down, smacking the wall with the left side as Kenny Schrader goes by, but the racetrack is almost completely blocked here. There we see the 26 car drive on the apron. Watch Dale Jarrett, right on the bottom of the racetrack, almost stop and weave his way through.
Terry Labonte did the same thing. Very heads-up driving for those guys.
There we see the... Oh, I see the 21 car gets in the back of the 9 car. Elliott Sadler runs in the back of Steve Grissom and turned him sideways going down in turn 1.
And there's the big pileup. Jeffrey Bodine also involved in that, up against the wall. John Andretti hitting the brakes, but look at Jarrett and Labonte squeezing through. On board with DJ.
Yeah, I mentioned that he had passed Kenny Wallace on the backstretch going down. Then he sees the smoke. Then he starts slowing down. I think we're going to see the 55 come back by. Yes, sideways.
Man, did he breathe a sigh of relief there.
Steve Grissom out of the car, walking to the ambulance. Jarrett had a bad weekend last week, but boy, he dodged a major one there. Back at Darlington in a moment. Under caution here at the Pepsi Southern 500 because of a multi-car tangle. And here's what happened when Elliott Sadler came up on Steve Grissom.
Well, first of all, he decided he was going to pass Grissom, and then he decides to follow him in the corner. About that time, Grissom backed off to get in turn 3, and Elliott Sadler in the 21 car ran in the back of him and just turned him sideways, and he spins, hits the wall, and this looks like Darlington I've seen for the last 30 years. About 10 cars involved in a big crash down in turn 3. And Matt Kenseth, we see, terrible break to the DeWalt forward.
On board with Elliott Sadler.
Okay, he's going to try to go on the outside. Now he's going on the inside, and now he's going to follow him. And boom, just enough.
Well, during this caution period, we had some pit stops, of course. Here's Mayfield, Jeff Burton, and Jeff Gordon, top 3 in for their stops. We'll watch the crews work on the cars. Gordon pitted down closer to a pit out, so he was the last to arrive in his pit box.
Jeremy Mayfield and the 99 car, Jeff Burton, both guys almost finishing the right sides at the same time. Left sides go down almost exactly the same time. And we see that the 12 of Jeremy a little bit in front of the 99, so he'll take that spot. Jeff Gordon falls in, and Ward Burton is the first car that made pit stops out there. I don't know if he changed 4 tires or 2, but that Ned DJ did not pit, hasn't pitted so far.
No, he did not pit. One reason I'm sure was to lead the race and get 5 bonus points, but it hasn't been that long since they were in the pits, and every time that he comes into the pits, he's been losing from 6 to 8 positions, and so I'm sure they decided just to stay out there this time.
Coke pit summary shows that Jeremy Mayfield lost 3 positions, Jeff Burton lost 4, Gordon lost 2, Nemechek 3, and Rusty Wallace also lost 3, but that is a result of the fact that Jarrett didn't pit and the 18 didn't pit.
That's right. 2 cars did not pit, and Ward Burton had an unbelievable pit stop. So he's a guy that did make the pit stop out in front.
Well, Dale Jarrett is among the No Bull 5 contenders, one of 5 drivers who can walk off with a $1 million bonus here this afternoon if he should take the checkered flag first. And each driver has a fan connected with them that could also win. Right now, there are the No Bull 5 drivers and where they're running. Now, we mentioned the fact that there is a fan connected with each driver eligible for the $1 million bonus, and if his driver wins the million, so will the fan. There are the 5 drivers and where they are running right now. Now, the fans are positioned in a stand right near victory lane, hoping that their driver, of course, will drive in there and they can walk off with the million. Glenn Keck is connected with Dale Jarrett. Mark Martin, his driver is Johnny Bowsher. Gerald Walsh with the 18 car, Phyllis Farmer with Jeff Burton, and Amy Bourdonnais is with the 20 car of Tony Stewart.
Bobby Labonte made another pit stop. He was running in the 2nd spot, I believe in the top 5, and he just made another pit stop.
Tony Stewart is 1 lap down in 25th position. Still having problems with that car, Bill?
Yeah, Bob, and they thought maybe it was going to be the ratchet in the rear end, but they checked that, and that appears not to be the problem. So they really have no idea what's wrong with the car. They have tried everything. It is just very, very, very loose, and Tony's very unhappy with it. So they're going to try and put a rubber in next time they get a chance to stop, but really they are struggling here. John Kernan?
Matt Kenseth has been checked out at the Care Center. Matt, you all right?
Yeah, I feel good. Race car's not too good, but Dwell Ford is running really good today. Did a bad job qualifying, got us in the backstretch, but all the way up to 9th there, before that last pit stop. So just saw the wreck, but couldn't get slowed down or stopped for it.
Matt Kenseth, good to say he's okay, but he is out of the race. We'll see him in another Winston Cup race at Dover, Bob.
Still under caution, the crew cam today is being worn by one of Bobby Labonte's crew members.
He's Barry Cook, the rear tire changer. Labonte stops. Barry goes around. Taking those lug nuts off. Takes the tire off. Todd Meredith jams that rear tire in. Jason Lee lets the jacket down. They go around to the rear. Tire comes off. Meredith slams another one on there. Folks, it's just that easy. Go, Bobby, go.
Just that easy? Under caution with 153 laps completed at Darlington, Dale Jarrett leads. Less than a lap completed under green. Dale Earnhardt has gotten his lap back. Dale Jarrett is the leader of the race. Ward Burton is running in 2nd, and the 97 of Chad Little is also trying to move up there and get his lap back. Jeff Gordon running 3rd.
Earnhardt in 21st position, though, so he wants to caution. Although he's pulling away from Jarrett right now. He has fresh tires on that Chevrolet and is taking off. Jarrett did not stop during that caution. His tires have more laps than most of the others.
Ward Burton goes up the racetrack in the bottom lane for Jeff Gordon and for Jeremy Mayfield. And John has more on Jarrett.
Bob, I just talked to DJ's crew chief, and he said, Todd Parrott said that the tires are only 7 laps old, 7 laps of green flag competition. He says with a smile, I think we'll be okay. And hey, looks like they're doing pretty well so far. About 10 laps into this run, the other guys should equal off to about the same lap times that Dale Jarrett's running. So if he can hang on to the spot he's in right now, in the first spot, for the next 10 laps, he should be all right.
Now what Dale Jarrett would love to see is this race go green for the rest of the day. Then the pit stops become even. Making a pit stop, there's no advantage or disadvantage pitting on the backstretch.
Jerry now has an update on the 22 car of Ward Burton. Right now he's 2nd.
And Bob, the reason he came off pit road so quickly was because they only changed 2 right side tires. You heard John Kernan say a moment ago they only had 5 or 6 green flag laps on those tires anyway. So 2 right side tires for Ward Burton and some wedge. But here again, the problem is that his throttle is beginning to stick again. He cannot get the throttle to come all the way back. He's having to use his foot on the brake to slow the car down, and he's concerned about using up the brake.
And Jeremy Mayfield goes by Jeff Burton and moves into the 4th position. And we see Ward Burton and Jeff Gordon, 2nd through 5, nose to tail.
Chad Little has gotten got back on the lead lap. He's in 22nd position as we see this battle for second.
Gordon looking to the inside down the front stretch here, trying to pick up the second spot from Ward.
And here goes the 12 car, Jeremy Mayfield. Goes by Jeff Gordon, losing the third.
Picked up 2 positions here in the last 2 laps, and Jeff Burton also down to the inside of Gordon and picking up another spot, and Nemechek is also right there.
And we see Mark trying to get by Rusty Wallace. He will do it. Nemechek on the inside of Jeff Gordon.
Nemechek's got a strong car, cannot make the challenge this time, but has been up there in the top 10 all afternoon. So far in this race, Jeremy Mayfield has led the most laps, 69. Jeff Gordon has been out front 41 laps. Ward Burton for 30. Jarrett is leading his 14th lap. Other leaders have included Jeff Burton for 5, Mark Martin for 2, and Joe Nemechek was at the front of the field for 1 lap.
And Robbie C. Jeff Burton closes in right on the back bumper of Jeremy Mayfield. On the back stretch in turn 3. Jeremy goes up the racetrack. Is Jeff going to go on the inside? Looks like he might.
He's going to try, but can he get the traction he needs coming off of that turn? Yeah, he's got pretty good traction there. He'll make the pass going into turn 1.
Last lap, he was the fastest car on the racetrack. He wasn't that time because of the fact that he had to maneuver around a slower car, or around Jeremy Mayfield, but Burton is a fast race car.
Well, he is really coming off of that turn 2.
Watch as he just blows right up on the inside of his brother Ward and takes over second spot.
So we have 2 Noble 5 contenders that are running in the first and second positions, Jarrett and Jeff Burton. The Pennzoil copter cam providing these overhead shots of the cars as they make their way down into the corner. They're running 1st, 2nd, 7th, 19th, and 24th, with Tony Stewart having the biggest struggle here so far. Now, Jeff Gordon takes away the 4th spot from Ward Burton.
Jeremy Mayfield has just gone by Ward and moved into the second spot. And there comes Nemechek right up on the back bumper of Ward Burton. Driving to the inside is Nemechek. Well, what a tough spot. He makes a pass.
And now Mark Martin will try the same maneuver at the other end of the racetrack. Mark Martin up into 6th position now. Ward Burton.
Not so fast.
Quite.
Not so fast there, big boy. Now he takes it away.
I know he was. Jeff Burton continues to be the fastest car on the racetrack. That last lap, the only driver over 159 miles an hour, a full mile an hour faster than the leader Dale Jarrett, but Jarrett still has a 0.3 of a second lead, and he has Chad Little between himself and Jeff Burton.
Yeah, he was able to get back around Chad Little, put Chad a lap down.
Chad Little, and there are no cars between him and the flapping back bumper of Dale Jarrett. He received that in an earlier incident here today, but not affecting the handling or the driving of the car. Jarrett leads. Jeff Burton, Jeremy Mayfield, Jeff Gordon, and Joe Nemechek at Darlington. Welcome back to Darlington, South Carolina. Jeff Burton has taken the lead from Dale Jarrett. Now the 10 car of Ricky Rudd is very slow on the racetrack. Dropped off the pace, and is he going to make it to pit road?
Well, he's right at the entrance and rolling very, very slow. As you can see, apparently he has lost power. He went down on the inside of the racetrack coming off of turn 4 and has coasted all the way around. He actually is off the racetrack now and out of harm's way as far as the racing on the track is concerned.
So hopefully no caution here. Ricky picked up 3 positions as a result of his 3rd place finish at Bristol last weekend. 3 position in the point standings to 32nd. Here's how Burton got the lead from DJ.
Going into turn 1, DJ just slowed down. We got a caution. I guess that is for Rudd's car or whatever. But Dale Earnhardt, boy, by the skin of his teeth, stays on the lead lap because Jeff Burton was working on it.
So Dale Earnhardt, who is running back in 20th spot, will remain the last car on the lead lap as the caution waves for another time as the stalled car of Ricky Rudd is off the corner in turn number 4 in the entrance to the pit lane. We'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment. Back at Darlington, where the 60 car of Jeffrey Bodine entered the pits, and as you can see, as he is being held there. The pits are not open yet.
They are now because the leaders are coming in.
Tow truck has pushed Ricky Rudd's car off pit road. He was sitting there just a moment ago, so the last time by pit road was closed. This time the car is gone and it is open.
Down to Bill Weber.
Well, Jeff Burton leads him down pit road. No expected changes here. They are going to pull some tape off the front grill and pull a layer of plastic off the windshield. Really, at this point, just need to tap off the gas. Jeremy Mayfield's going to get right side tires, left side tires, and fuel, but no changes for him. In fact, they've done a little bit to tighten up the 12 throughout the race, but not the last 2 stops. Let's check on Gordon with Punch.
Half a round back in the right rear. The car a little bit too tight now. The 99 car is out, the 12 car down, and now Gordon finishes the pit stop. And will he beat Jeff Burton at the end of pit road? No, he will not, as they came racing door to door. Let's go to the backstretch pits and John Kernan.
Points leader Dale Jarrett is in. 4 tire change. There will be no adjustment. The car has already been adjusted 5 full rounds down on the track bar to tighten it up. They've made an air pressure adjustment. Here comes Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon, Jeremy Mayfield, Mark Martin. Left side's going on Dale Jarrett. He's going to lose a whole bushel full of positions. He's a little slow on the left front tire, but he's down and away. Also 4 tires for Terry Labonte. It looks like Steve Park is going to win the race off pit road here on the backstretch. He too took on 4 tires.
Park does indeed leave Jarrett and Terry Labonte out of the backstretch pits. Now they catch up with those who pitted earlier on the front stretch. Still under caution, so that allows us to take another break at the Pepsi Southern 500 in Darlington. We'll be right back. Jeff Burton is the leader of the race, followed by Gordon, Mayfield, Martin, and Ward Burton.
Talk about what a disadvantage it is pitting on the backstretch. Dale Jarrett was the leader of the race, and at the caution flag fell. Dale Earnhardt had just gotten his lap back. Right now, DJ is back in 16th position. Earnhardt is 14th. He actually got back on the racetrack quicker than Earnhardt could make his pit stop.
And the coach pit summary, look at Jarrett, 2nd to 17th.
And after that, Bobby Labonte came in the pits. Bobby stayed out there and led a lap during the caution. And so he now is back behind him.
Wow, look at this action going down in turn 1. Ward Burton drives on the inside of Mark Martin. Meanwhile, Jeremy Mayfield goes by Jeff Gordon, and Jeff Burton says, see ya. He just checked out on these guys. Here goes Ward Burton on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Mark Martin will try to follow.
Trying to put Jeff all the way back. Here comes Bobby Hamilton. Ward Burton's car slides up the racetrack.
And Kenny Irwin is into the wall, car number 28.
And he's narrowed that car a little bit. Going to be dropping down to the inside of the track. Damage on the right side as he put the Darlington stripe on her.
Next up, new right side tires. We got to get the fenders off.
We sure do, because he mashed them in pretty good. You can see the smoke coming out of this tire smoke.
Irwin was our pole sitter for this race, but has never led so far, and in fact is going to go more.
Wheel is the same. I did hit it hard though.
He was on the
we got pretty good tire rub, so let's come on in. Let's make sure we get the tire rub fixed before we go back out. New tires, take the hammers with you.
He said the steering wheel is in the same spot. But then he added the PS, I did hit it hard.
Yeah.
on down, all the way down.
And you can see how hard he hit the wall in that Texaco Howland Ford. Hard contact, so there'll be more than sheet metal bent on that car.
Jerry Punch is right there.
And Doug Reichert is who you heard talking on the radio a moment ago too, Kenny here. We'll take a look at the right side of the car. This pancake, as Benny said, he hit a ton using the sledgehammer, now a 5-pound sledge on the right front. Now the right rear, they're using a rolling bar to try to roll the fender off the right rear tire. He was today's pole sitter, and now the car fairly significantly damaged on the right side. They're trying to get him to stay put so they can get that fender pulled away from the right front. They're saying roll easy, roll easy, roll easy. They're trying to get the right rear fender, and I want him to back up a little bit, trying to get clearance. But the way those fenders have been buckled down and sharpened, if they were to go away, that would cut a tire very, very easily. What a tough break for Kenny Irwin, who was the guy on the pole who let him down to the green flag.
From Rusty Wallace's onboard camera, we take a look.
Looks like he was trying to get on the outside of Chad Little going down in that corner, and it doesn't take much going in turn 3.
Jeff Burton has opened up a huge lead. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt has come into the pits, or is coming in, or slowing down.
He was sliding all over the track. A number of cars got by him. Let's see if he's going to be able to get down. No, he couldn't that time. So he lost a number of positions.
All the way back to 16th now. Now to Bill Weber.
Yeah, Bob, it's the left front. They think the left front's going down.
Weber's running down to his pits. Hustle, Bill. He's coming down that way, Bill. So you might be able to, if you run fast, you might be able to do that for Earnhardt just there.
Here is Earnhardt slowing now and deciding to come in to make the pit stop. Bill, are you there yet?
I'm there, Bob.
Attaboy.
They talked about this for 2 laps, fortunately. They think it's the left front. They're going to go ahead and perhaps change all 4. Earnhardt tried to feel it out. They thought it might just be air pressure. They're going to go ahead and change right side. Now cleaning the grill. No conversation. It'll be a 4-tire change. It's very costly because remember, he just did get his lap back on that last caution. Does have some sheet metal damage around that left front tire. Don't look at tires from the 31. Those are 31 tires he just put on.
19.2 second pit stop for Dale Earnhardt. And Bill, you don't have to jog tomorrow because you got your extra exercise in today. Good job.
That was a noble job by Bill running down the pit road. But how about that cameraman carrying a camera? He got there also.
Well, Dale Earnhardt lost a lap, got it back, and now loses it again with his unscheduled pit stop here to change the tires. There's Jeff Burton, who has opened up more than a 2-second lead on Jeremy Mayfield.
As a matter of fact, we have gone past the halfway point, and so Jeff Burton's picked up the $10,000 bonus for Gatorade at leading at the halfway point.
Lowe's Field Summary has the points as of now, with Gordon up 1 and Bobby Labonte down 1 in the NASCAR Winston Cup points battle for 1999. Their second place, Jeremy Mayfield. Third is going to be Ward Burton, then Jeff Gordon. And the 6th car of Mark Martin is running in the 5th position. There's Ward, about 3 seconds behind. Jeff Gordon, who has led 41 laps so far here today. Jeremy Mayfield remains the driver who has led the most laps at 69. Mark Martin has been out front for 2 circuits.
Ronnie Hamilton, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, is currently running in the 6th position. There we see him just far behind the Mark Martin automobile.
And Joe Nemechek continues to give that Bell South car a good run here this afternoon. He is in 7th position. We haven't talked a great deal about the guy who is running in 8th position, Ned, but Kevin LePage is doing well.
Yes, he is having a good run. He had a good qualifying run, starting in the 9th position. He now is in 8th position, so he's kept his nose clean all day.
As a matter of fact, had the best qualifying position of any of the Jack Roush cars here for the Pepsi Southern 500.
And he is highest in NASCAR Winston Cup points without a top 10. So he's to his first top 10 finish in Talladega, where he was 12th. Now the 2 and the 23 car are running in 9th and 10th.
There's Rusty. He's having a tough time. The handle is not what he needs on his Miller Ford. And there's Dale Jarrett has caught this pack of cars. The 21 car, Elliott Sadler, is running in the 11th position. Spencer, as you see there, number 23, is running in 10th place.
On board with DJ, just ahead is 11th place Elliott Sadler.
Down the backstretch. Turn 3.
Continues to fight back from his handicap, hitting on the backstretch. The car has performed well, and so has the team on their pit stops. They've been down in the 15-second area all day long. Now, Bill Weber has an update on Earnhardt's tire.
Yeah, Bob, Dale Earnhardt has tremendous feel for a race car. You can see these holes are just slightly, ever so slightly out of round. During that last pit stop when he just came in, Richard Childress kept saying, hit the left front hard, hit the left front hard. They wanted to make sure the lug nuts were tight. Normally, these are very oblong when lug nuts are loose. These just slightly oblong. Earnhardt felt it on like the second lap under green. They came in, got it off. It was a tire that they got from the 31 car after Mike Skinner fell out. A lot of times teammates will swap tires to try and get a better match on the 4 set. In fact, this 99 car has tires from the 17 car, Kenseth, that fell out earlier, but that was Earnhardt's problem.
And the 99 car is just continuing to stretch out his advantage over Jeremy Mayfield. The interval is now up to more than 2 3/4 seconds as Jeff Burton leads. Almost 200 laps out of 367 are complete in the 50th annual Pepsi Southern 500. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Pepsi Southern 500 from Darlington, being brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. By the White Track Grand Prix by Pontiac, wider is better. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil, add more life to your car. 201 laps completed. We refresh your memory on who the 5 drivers are eligible for the $1 million bonus. Burton, Labonte, Stewart, Martin, and Dale Jarrett. Those 5 drivers can win a bonus of $1 million if they win here this afternoon. And here is where they're running at the moment with 202 laps completed. Jeff Burton is the leader. Martin is 5th. Jarrett 11th, Labonte 17th, and Tony Stewart is in 18th position, and he is the only one among the 5 Noble 5 drivers not on the lead lap. The Pennzoil Copter Cam has these overhead shots of the egg-shaped Darlington Raceway, where this 50th classic auto race is being staged here this afternoon. The 10-car Ricky Rudd broke a distributor. However, he, as you can see there on the bottom of your screen, is back in the race.
But he's going to be about 30, couple laps down.
Moments ago, the 77 car Robert Presley was into the Darlington wall for the 2nd time this afternoon. There it is.
Wow. But once again, he did not hit it that hard. We saw some tire smoke brushing the wall, but still not a lot of contact with the 77.
Jerry, how about an update on the 28 car of Kenny Irwin, who has had his problems today from the pole position. He's now 12 laps down in 30 seconds.
Bob, he just spent 7 laps back in the pits a moment ago when we went to break. He came back down pit road, and they had a problem with the toe end in the front of the car. They set the front toe end, and we're working more on the right side sheet metal, and they went ahead and changed 4 tires while they were in here. But a tough break for Kenny Irwin. He was trying so hard, but now, as you said, 12 laps down. They have fixed the toe end, but the car has some sheet metal damage on the right side.
The Rookie of the Year in NASCAR Winston Cup competition last year, Ray Bestis Rookie of the Year. I just got hit in the back by BP is the reason I inserted the Ray Bestis.
Thank you, Bob.
Boy, that interval just continues to grow, doesn't it? Jeff just keeps driving away.
Yeah, he's up to 3.6 seconds ahead now of Jeremy Mayfield, and he's coming up not too far from lapping Bobby Labonte, who is running in 17th position. Bobby is about 28 seconds behind and about to go a lap down to the 2 line.
Bill, the 12 car is still in there, but he's just fallen back and back from Jeff Burton.
Yeah, Bob, and actually they're in pretty good shape. That last caution helped them out quite a bit. We talked about how Earnhardt had tires from the 31 car. Well, just before that last caution, the previous stop, Jeremy Mayfield had his own right side tires, but he had left side tires from the 36 car, which had fallen out of the race. That combination was absolutely no good. He's got all 12 tires on that car now. He's got 4 tires on the 12 of course. And the 12 bunch told me that's because they got crunchy M&M tires instead of regular ones.
Man, he's getting up close to that outside retaining wall.
Jeremy Mayfield, of course, came into the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season with great hopes after a great year, but it hasn't gone all that well for him. After 23 races, Jeremy has fallen 6 positions in the point standings from where he was this time last year, and John Andretti is down 3 positions. There's the 22 of Ward Burton, who continues to run in the 3rd spot, about 4 seconds behind his brother.
Rusty Wallace has been losing a lot of positions. He was running in the 9th position just a couple of laps ago. Now he's all the way back to 13th, and there's Ken Schrader. You see out his rearview mirror, or at the back of his car, is coming up on him. Schrader is running in the 15th position. Rusty now back to 14th apparently, because Steve Park has gotten back.
Never a win here at Darlington, but Rusty has been a second on 2 different occasions, most recently in the Southern 500 in 1988.
There we see Steve.
You go.
All right, Steve Park depends on. Oh, how about Jeff Gordon has closed up on the back bumper of Ward Burton, and Ward says, "Okay, Jeff, I see your factor on that. Go ahead, take over this 3rd spot." Because the last few laps, Jeff Gordon has been, the DuPont Chevrolet has been a little bit quicker than the 99 car. Not much, but a little bit. But right now, Jeff Gordon is a little under 5 seconds behind Jeff Burton.
Right now, Jeff Burton is the man. And Bobby Labonte, running in 17th position, goes a lap down. So another one of our Noble 5 contenders is a lap down. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart are both a lap down now in their quest to win the Noble $5 million bonus. 211 laps completed. We'll be back in a moment.
The 3-car battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Jimmy Spencer had the 9th position, loses it to Dale Jerry. Terry Labonte has joined in to that group. Terry was a couple of 3 seconds behind him not too long ago. But
How about that Terry Labonte run, John Kernan?
Bob, they haven't made any major adjustments on that car all afternoon long. It's the same car they ran at Indianapolis last month. The one thing I noticed when we did have that round of green flag stops, where we actually had a long round of green flag running, Terry's car, once it hit the initial fall off after about 20-25 laps, it just kind of stayed right there while everybody else continued to lose a little bit on their lap times. But Terry's car is very consistent and really set up for the long runs, although he did report to Andy Graves, his crew chief, just a little bit ago that it was just a little bit tight.
He's in the top 10, though. Here's the battle for 5th position as Joe Nemechek comes up on Mark Martin. And while we watch that, we'll show you the Bud race recap. Jeff Burton has led 51 laps so far. We've had 17 lead changes, 4 caution periods for 27 laps. Nemechek takes the spot from Mark Martin, and the average speed is 125.5 miles an hour. Here's a look at those who have led laps here today, and Jeremy Mayfield is the driver who has led the most. Burton, however, has been there for the last few laps and will be adding to his number now. Also, Joe Nemechek and Bobby Labonte have been out front for a lap and got the 5 bonus points. Kenny Wallace is off the track as they work on his car from that crash he was involved in. Others, however, are out of the race, and many of these were involved in that multi-car tangle that we had earlier.
See Kevin LePage, the TV guide for George, won by his teammate Mark Martin. You see these guys, there's some of the passengers, and Jeffrey Bodine. Goes by Jeffrey Bodine right now being shown 3 laps down the power team car. He goes by Mark Martin. But we see that a lot of these guys do not put up much effort when another car comes up behind them. They move over, let them go by. At this racetrack, if you really race hard, you're going to make contact. Eventually, you're going to make contact with the other cars, and both of them are going to crash. And look, Dale Earnhardt is back in the pit. So that's one reason, until the last 30 or 40 laps, you're not going to see these positions contested too hard.
Patience is still the key running this racetrack. If you get too aggressive, that racetrack.
Earnhardt reshod with some good years, and he pulled back out onto the racetrack here in just a moment after going down pit road. And we understand that a few sprinkles are being felt on pit road for the first time today. We mentioned how Hurricane Dennis
starting to rain a little bit over here where I'm at. Nothing bad yet.
A tropical depression is pounding areas north of here, up in the North Carolina and Virginia area. We thought we might get by without a taste of the rain, but a little bit falling right now. Not enough, however, to cause a caution flag at the moment.
Well, Jeff Burton might be doing that same rain dance that he did in April, remember? Or was it March? If he stopped the race because of rain, he jumped out of his car and said, please rain. It did. He was declared the winner.
Because he had a wrecked car that day. He needed for it to rain very badly because he wasn't going to be able to continue.
Still just a sprinkle and nothing that's going to wet the track to the point where they have to throw the caution right now. But the lead is over 5 seconds now. That's the advantage that Burton has over Gordon. Jeremy Mayfield third, then Ward Burton and Joe Nemechek. Jeff Burton continues to move through the traffic here and lead the Pepsi Southern 500 at Darlington. Just ahead is Brett Murdoch, who's running back in 27th position, 3 laps down at the moment, but close to going 4 laps down.
And we can see that Brett Murdoch on that Paychex car trying to save that 1 lap because there are some sprinkles in the area. He's hoping that NASCAR would throw that caution flag. And the caution flag is out.
For the rain.
And here's Earnhardt trying to battle back. And the car is in the wall down in 3 and 4.
Like the 26 car of Johnny Benson.
There's Benson. He's still rolling. He has had contact with the right side.
Yeah, he's got a good bit of damage to that Cheerio field.
Pretty good by the time you get down here turn 1.
Well, the caution comes out on lap 230 for rain. We didn't think that rain would be a factor here because they said as the day goes along that storm would continue to move north and pull the rain that way, but here we are at 20 minutes till 4 Eastern time and we're getting the first drops of the day.
And Bill Elliott was glad to see it come when it did. He's running in 16th position and with just a few car lengths from going a lap down, so this saved him.
And the race fans begin to get out their rain gear to protect themselves from the moisture that is beginning to fall in South Carolina. It's Jeff Burton is the leader with Gordon, Mayfield, Ward Burton, and Joe Nemechek the top 5. We'll see what happens when we come back. Under a caution here at Darlington because of rain. ESPN's live coverage of the Pepsi Southern 500. 231 laps have been completed. We have had some pit stops during this caution period that have resulted in a scrambling of the standings as the patient race fans hope the rain goes away so we can see the completion of this event. Okay, let's look at the pit stops.
See Ward Burton in the pits. Right side's going up. Elliott Sadler stops in his Sitco Ford. Ward goes around to the left side this time. So does Jeff Gordon. Here comes the leader, Jeff Burton down pit road. Here comes Mark Martin, Jeremy Mayfield. Ward Burton leads. Kevin LePage leads. And Jeff Gordon just now getting underway. He's going to lose 3 or 4 spots in the pits. Jerry Bunch.
Well, the problem with Jeff Gordon, guys, that he wasn't going to pit. He wasn't going to come down pit road. When they saw Jeff Burton make a move, they said, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. And at the last minute, as he was coming down pit road, Ray Evernham said, let's go ahead and take the rubber out of the right front, and we'll make a wedge adjustment. So it took them a little while to pull the rubber out of the right front. That's why they have a delay on their pit stop.
Jeremy Mayfield, of course, a contender since the drop of the green flag, had a very close call just before we went to the caution as the raindrops began to fall. Let's take a look at it.
Blue and white car down on the inside. And there he's going to get a little bit loose. It gets very loose and then gets a little bit of a tap from Robert Presley in the car number 77.
Well, because he did not pit, Terry Labonte is the leader of the race, and because he did not pit, Jimmy Spencer is running in second spot. Then we get Jeff Burton, Ward Burton, Mayfield, Martin, LePage, Gordon, Nemechek, and Hamilton. They're your top 10. Back at Darlington Raceway, South Carolina, you see from the Pennzoil copter cam that there are a few raindrops on our camera lens. That's the reason why we are under caution. Now, rain has played a significant factor in many races down through the years here. Most recently, March 21st of 1999, the Trans-South Financial 400. Here it is. This is what happened. A big wreck here on the front stretch.
Jeff Burton runs in the outside retaining wall, but manages to cross the start-finish line and manages to stay on the racetrack until it really started raining. Watches it just really, and Jeff says, come on, rain. I don't think he'd have been able to restart the car to get it back to victory lane. Frankie Starter says, atta baby.
And Jeff Burton was the winner of that Trans-South 400 from the 9th starting position. And right now he is shown in third spot, behind two drivers who did not pit on this caution period, thinking that the rain may stick around and maybe halt this event, huh?
And now he's praying, please don't rain, quit rain.
But the guy who is praying for the rain is Terry Labonte because he didn't pit, right, John?
That's exactly right, Bob. Terry, as soon as that caution came out when the raindrops started falling, he talked things over with his crew chief, Andy Graves, and asked him, you know, what do you think? How long do you think this rain's going to be around? Should we stay out maybe? And Andy said, no, I think maybe we're going to pit with everybody else because it looks like it's only a small cell. Well, then at the last minute, they made the decision to stay out. And they're now doing a little bit of a rain dance. But Eddie Dickerson, who spots for Terry Labonte, said on the radio a little bit ago, he said, you know, the kind of luck we've had this year, it'll probably be sunny and 95 in about 10 minutes.
Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, pretty similar story for Jimmy Spencer. They decided to stay out. Obviously, if it goes back to green, they've got so many laps on those tires, they'd have to come in just before the green would come back out. But if it did not come back out, it would be the second week in a row. Spencer would finish second under rather unusual circumstances. And just for the record, it's Spencer's current teammate in this race at this track, I believe in 1992, that Darrell, staying out when it was raining, kept $1 million out of Davey Allison's pocket.
Talk about an unusual situation. It occurred last week in the final lap of the race at Darlington, the big controversial event at Bristol, I should say. And here's what happened. There's the contact that sent Terry Labonte spinning in turn number 2. Dale Earnhardt raced around to the checkered flag, and Spencer was right behind him when the checkered flag dropped. So Jimmy got his best finish of 1999 last weekend, a second at Bristol, and now he's running in second position here this afternoon. Certainly would be some redemption for Terry Labonte if he were to win this race here. He is in the lead at the moment, but we await the dropping of the green flag once again, hoping that this rain is going to go away so we can finish the Pepsi Southern 500. Jerry, what does the weather look like?
Bob, are you sure you want to see?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'm going to show you anyway. Let me show you the screen here. This big green glob on the screen, that's weather term for a big green glob. This is the remnants of Hurricane Dennis, now Tropical Storm Dennis. Now, you see the little dot in the middle? That's Darlington Raceway. This cell that they told someone a moment ago was a tiny little cell, stretches all the way into Virginia. Up here is Raleigh-Durham, where we had an ESPN football game last night, and basically torrential downpour conditions. But the good news for us is it appears this whole green glob or this cell is moving due west. And so we're back on just on the margin of it. If it moves at all, we should clear here. If it doesn't move, and it looks like it's been moving very, very slowly, we're going to stay right on the edge. If it starts to move more southwest, we're going to be right in the middle of it. So right now we are on the edge, and it's about 125 nautical miles wide.
Okay, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We do have a new leader of the race. Terry Labonte has decided to pit. John, what's that all about?
Well, Bob and Jerry, one thing about weather school, you got to remember you got to look outside to see what it's doing. You might have a big green blob showing rain, but a lot of times that rain doesn't actually hit the ground when it's that light green. So Terry's crew decided that the rain stopped, and it has back here on the backstretch. We haven't had any drops for probably about 5 minutes. So they decided to bring Terry down, change 4 tires, and to take a little wedge out of the car because he had gotten tight on that last run. So Labonte gave up the lead to take on 4 tires, thinking that we should be going back to green shortly. But NASCAR officials do have the jet dryers out on the racetrack right now to help keep the track dry.
And so with Terry pitting, that gives the lead to Jimmy Spencer, with Jeff Burton running in second spot. Back with more from Darlington in a moment. The 23 car Jimmy Spencer has not pitted during this rain caution, and so he is the leader. 5 fans who are anxiously awaiting to see whether they were going to win $1 million want to see this race completed.
Especially Phyllis Farmer, because if Jeff Burton wins the race, picks up the $1 million bonus, and Jeff Burton has currently running in second place and has been running pretty doggone good.
Ward Burton is right behind him. He's running in third position as Jerry is with the crew chief on Ward's car.
Tommy, it's very difficult for a crew chief right now. Everyone's running up and down looking at the weather radar trying to decide, should I have pitted, should I not pit? You guys came in, you had no, basically had no second guessing at all?
No, I mean, we're running up front all day long, and, the 5 and a 23 really needed to take the chance to do it right now. But, we're running good enough right now with those lead group of cars that if it goes back to green, I think we have a shot of winning. There's one car that stayed out right now, and if it rains, he's going to be the lucky one. Hopefully, we'll get one to go and let him come back in, so let the guys that ran up front all day long, stay up there. But, I got to hand it to these guys in this Caterpillar Pontiac crew there. We've been having great pit stops today, low 15 seconds all day long, and that's what's keeping us up front today. And hopefully it'll start raining, we can go racing.
Now, you guys seem awfully good on sticker tires. I mean, you're as good as anybody, better than Jeff Burton or anybody else. But after about 15, 18, 20 laps, the car begins to slide a little bit. Have you been able to correct that at all?
Yeah, we made a gear change this morning. I think it's hurting us after 30 laps. But, we're going to get one of these shots here that with 30 to go, we're going to have a caution, and they'll be in the top 5 there and have a chance to win it. 99 car is real strong right now. But, I think we're working towards getting the car better. That was the best 50-lap run we had all day, so we're going to keep working on it.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Tommy Baldwin calling the shots for Ward Burton.
You can tell by the accent, Bob, he's not from around these parts.
That's right. Definitely a northeastern accent, huh?
Yes. The pace car is taking the car. There's the red flag that Ned was talking about. He's tapping himself in the leg. And the pace car is pulled over and stopped down at the exit of pit road. So I'm guessing when all the cars get by the start-finish line, the red flag will be displayed.
It is raining just a little bit harder. You see the crews covering up their particular areas on pit road. And the pace car now pulling down to the inside of the racetrack in turn number 1. Still no red flag displayed, but all the cars have not passed by the start-finish line. But obviously the red is going to be out because the field has been stopped. Bill?
Well, Jimmy Spencer is the race leader. We're under a red flag situation. What are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, we really didn't have anything to lose on that deal right there. There was only about 3 or 4 cars behind us, so we just decided to take our chances and hope Mother Nature take its course and bring the rain on in here and see if we can win one of these things.
I heard Jimmy say he's a gambler, and this is his kind of move.
Oh, yeah, he's a big gambler. There's a lot of people on here big gamblers. We're just taking a chance here. I mean, we didn't have a lot to lose. We were 12th, only 16 cars on the lead lap, so I mean, we took a chance here to see what happens.
People have won them like this and lost them like this. Have you?
No, I had never been in a situation to win one like this, but I'd like to today.
Okay, well, I guess there's one team down here hoping it really opens up, and that'd be Donnie and the boys.
Well, the red has never been displayed from the, yeah, there it is right now. There it is. Everybody is stopped. Now the red flag does come out. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back here to Darlington, we've got plenty, of course, of racing left that we hope we can get in. But in the meantime, we're going to take you back earlier last week and have a conversation with Terry Labonte regarding what happened last Saturday night. Bob Jenkins with Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch. Under a rain delay here at the Pepsi Southern 500 with 244 of the 367 laps completed. Bill Weber is with the guy who right now is the leader.
And Jimmy Spencer walking back to his car because drivers have been called to their cars. You got a big smile on your face, though, don't you?
I know the rain's right over here. If I could wait a little longer, I'm...
That's an awful slow walk there, Jim.
Oh, I've walked faster. It just didn't work out for us, but we'll pit. We're still in the lead lap, and we have a good car. I think we have a top 10 race car, and we'll see what comes out of this race.
Okay, have a patient walk back your car there.
Okay, buddy.
He says, whoops, I forgot something.
I want to say something else.
Pennzoil Copter Cam showing you how the race is about to be restarted. The cars are rolling once again.
I wonder if Jimmy Spencer's going to stop this first-time buyer. He's going to play this hand right to the hilt.
Well, we see Bobby Labonte is coming in. Spencer is down on the bottom of the racetrack. Tell me what to do, guys. Do I come in? Yeah, he's coming in.
Last-minute decision for Spencer. He finally comes in along with Jeffrey Bodine and Bobby Labonte. Here's Spencer rolling to his pit box.
That was a good gamble, really, that they stayed out there and that the rain had continued. He could have had himself a Southern 500 win.
Red flag lasted for 24 minutes, but now the caution is on here at Darlington as the left side tires and the fuel is being put in the Winston Ford Taurus, and Jimmy Spencer is going back out onto the racetrack. Bobby Labonte is out, so is Jeffrey Bodine, and Kenny Irwin remains on pit road here on the front stretch. Kyle Petty also going back out on the track.
NASCAR officials now are asking the caution car, what does the racetrack look like? Does it look dry? And we see from Elliott Sadler's onboard camera, there are just no raindrops. Well, no, there's no raindrops at all right now hitting the windshield. That's reflection for something that we're seeing on the windshield and not raindrops.
On board with Tony Stewart, a lap down back in 18th position. Bill Elliott remains on the lead lap. He's in 14th spot. Rusty Wallace also is on the lead lap. He's in 9th. One of the Noble 5 contenders is Mark Martin. He's doing well, up in 4th position. And with Jimmy Spencer having made the pit stop, the lead goes back to Jeff Burton. Down to Bill Weber.
With Peter Suspender, crew chief for Jeremy Mayfield, and obviously you guys have had a great race car with minimal work on that car to this point.
Yeah, we've real good, real happy with it. Just got a little bit loose, so we've been kind of working on that, making little minor adjustments. We think we should be pretty good shape right now.
You have something for the 99 then?
Man, I'll tell you, I don't know. He's pretty tough here.
This has been a great run for Jeremy after some difficult stretches.
Well, it seems like we've had last 7 races, something went wrong every race. Just bad luck. We had good cars, running good, just had no luck. So hopefully we'll change today.
Best of luck.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Jerry Mayfield has still led the most laps here this afternoon, 65. Jeff Burton is about to rack up his 66th lap at the front of the field. They will not be going back to green in one more lap, still making sure that the track is completely dry.
Well, there are just a couple of more raindrops that are falling. We see them on our window here. Not much. I mean, if it were under green flag conditions, it wouldn't bother a thing. But I don't think as long as those raindrops are starting there, that we'll see them start the race.
All right, well, we'll see what happens as the caution remains out here. The rain-delayed Pepsi Southern 500. We'll be back in a moment.
I qualified and started 75 cars in that very first race, 3 abreast. From the start-finish line, there was so many cars in that race. They went through the 4th turn, almost all the way to the back stretch. That's how many cars started. And when they dropped that flag on that first lap, it looked like about 2,000 New York taxi cabs trying to go on that first turn to be in, first. But we run on the inside of the track, and man, it was like running on sandpaper. I blowed 22 tires in the first Darlington Southern 500, but I think Johnny Mance was driving the little light Plymouth, had truck tires on it, and he finally stayed out there long enough. I think 5 or 6 hours that race lasted, the first one, and Johnny Mance won that first race.
And the record stands from that first 500 back in 1950. The lowest start of a winner, Johnny Mance from 43rd position, which was the middle of the field for that first race back in 1950. And again, we thank the 50th celebration of NASCAR's anniversary and ESPN celebration of that for that little video clip. And of course, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Darlington Raceway here this weekend. And one more lap and we'll be back to racing. Jerry?
Well, most of the front-running drivers have been told that the heavy rain, is probably less than an hour out. Now, if you're Tommy Baldwin, what he and Ward Burton want to see is about a 20 or 25 lap sprint and then let the rains come. But they know they're going to be awfully tough to handle for the next 20 laps. So watch for Ward to really charge. It's going to be a battle of the brothers Burton when we wave the green.
They restart in first and second position with Jeremy Mayfield, Mark Martin, and Kevin LePage, the top 5.
Would he take $1 million away from his brother, Ward?
Yeah. To win a race, to win the Southern 500?
Of course he would.
Sure would. You know, I've been thinking all day since we put up the graphic that Todd Bodine missed the show today, and the 30 car. I've been thinking about Chuck and Carolyn Ryder, and we used to seeing them around, and just how much folks were thinking about you, and we're going to see you again soon sometime.
Let's take a look at the Noble 5 contenders and where they are. Burton is the leader, Martin is 4th, Jarrett 12th, Stewart 17th, and Bobby Labonte is running in 20th. 16 cars are on the lead lap, so Stewart and Labonte are a lap down. Pace car off the racetrack. Here we go with the resumption of the Pepsi Southern 500. This will complete lap 250. Back to competition. Tony Stewart is positioned between the Burton brothers. Tony trying to get successful drive away. Some 3-car wide scrambles going on. Back here is Jeff Gordon, Joe Nemechek into the inside of Brett Bodine. Here comes Kevin LePage trying to take the position away from Nemechek.
Well, Kevin LePage will take that spot away.
It's up to 6. LePage is having a great day here today. Amazing that Jeff Burton, though, what a lead he can get on just one lap.
It really is. He stepped on the gas when the green flag dropped and began to pull away, and already it's over a second advantage for Jeff over Ward. Here is Kenny Schrager to the inside of the lap car of Brett Bodine. On board now with Elliott Sadler, who's 11th.
And the points leader, Dale Jarrett, right behind this battle. You can see Elliott Sadler in 21 cars. He tries his best to get on the inside of Rich Bickle. Meanwhile, DJ, the Ford Quality Care cars, watches all this. And he's saying, boys, please
Start
be
getting a
careful.
little more rain up here again.
That is not what
Good
we wanted to
spotters, Bob.
hear. Down.
And here comes DJ on the inside of Rich Bickle. Now throws in on the back of the 21 car. This is the battle for the 11th position.
Jeff Burton continues to build his lead as we watch this battle here for the 11th. And here's the battle for second.
Yeah, Jeremy Mayfield coming up on Ward Burton. Mayfield had the faster car last lap. Cannot make the pass, however, as Ward Burton continues to hang on to second. There's more reports of rain. Heavier. Same situation we had in the spring. Rain threatening. Jeff Burton in the lead. This time he has stretched it out to almost 3 seconds. Look at the advantage that he has. And LePage now has caught up to Jeff Gordon as they battle for 5th position.
We saw those raindrops on the camera lens. Still not a heavy rain, but rain.
Caution down. Caution down for the rain. For the rain.
We do see some drops falling on the window of the booth here on the main straightaway. And so the pace is reduced once again as Jeff Burton comes down to complete lap 257. Stewart flashed by. I don't know whether they'll give him credit for getting his lap back or not. But in any case, the caution is out again for rain, and Jeff Burton is your leader. If we do go back to racing, and let's hope we do, and Tony Stewart did get his lap back, it could be a very significant part of the race.
You're right, Bob. It could be significant because we see Jeff Burton slowing as he comes to the line, and there Tony Stewart goes by because Tony Stewart seemed to have a pretty fast race car those last few laps.
And he is one of the Noble 5 contenders also. Last driver to win both races in a season here at Darlington with Jeff Gordon in 1996. Others have done it. Dale Earnhardt did it twice in 87 and 90. Elliott in 85, Pearson in 76, and Jeff Burton is hoping that he can add his name to that list and sweep both races here at this historic facility. He won in the spring, and he's leading here in the fall Pepsi Southern 500. Caution is out once again. Rain is the nemesis, and we'll take a break as the Burton brothers are up front with Mayfield, Martin, and Gordon. Back at Darlington, caution flag remains out in the Pepsi Southern 500. We were under a red condition for 24 minutes because of rain, and now we are back to caution because of the raindrops. Tony Stewart did get his lap back, and not only that, he pitted.
And changed 4 tires, so if it stops raining and they go back racing, he will go from almost a lap, or being a lap down, to being the leader of the race. But right there, we see some raindrops on our camera lens on the Home Depot Pontiac.
Of course, that would be if everybody would pit before they would go back to green, which they most likely would.
But we've been talking all afternoon about how fresh tires are the thing to have because after just a few laps, they begin to go away. Through 23 races of the 1999 season, in his rookie year, Tony Stewart has the best average finish of some very big-name race drivers. Dale Earnhardt's best finish was 11.7 after 23 races in his rookie year of 79. Jody Ridley at 13.7 and Davey Allison 14.2. Now, Davey Allison was the last rookie to win a race in his inaugural season. In fact, he won 2 in his rookie year. Tony Stewart has not broken into victory lane yet in 1999.
Now Phyllis is getting a little more excited right now. She said, now she didn't want it to rain, but now she's saying, please rain, because my man Jeff Burton is in front. I pick up the $1 million.
Phyllis is Phyllis Farmer, who hails for Hillsboro, Maryland, and is paired with Jeff Burton. If Jeff wins $1 million, and if he wins, Phyllis wins $1 million also. Well, the word is that they are going to stop the race once again. The cars are going to be moved down into the turn 1 area and stop so they can stay ahead of this racetrack and stay ahead of this rain that continues to fall. It's not a heavy rain, just enough to halt things here at Darlington. Rain continues to fall here at Darlington. The race for the second time has been red flagged and the cars have been stopped down in the turn 1 area. Well, every time we come to Darlington Raceway, we see some improvements. Now, there is the media center that is used here at Darlington. However, in the early days, there was a place called the Chicken Coop, which was the press box, and it was so close to the racetrack that they actually handed out goggles to the riders that were down there covering the race so they wouldn't get showered with the debris and specks of tire that came off. Let's go back now and relive some of the early moments of the racing here at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Another memory.
The headlines generated from the chicken coop boldly told of the brawn and the brains of the early cockpit pioneers who tried to tame the lady in black. Their copy included 3-time Southern 500 winner Herb Thomas and Speedy Thompson. Fireball Roberts certainly got a stripe or two on his way to victory lane. 1952 winner Fonty Flock made Bermuda shorts all the rage. The box scores reflected marathons of speed and endurance, all classic columns in what today still reigns as the longest-running Labor Day racing tradition.
In that piece, we saw the shot of Cale Yarborough going over the wall in 1965. And Ned, that was the same year that you drove to victory here and beat your closest competitor by a mere 14 laps.
Yeah, boy, I was really flying that day.
I tell you.
No, obviously everybody had a lot of trouble, but that was the thing that got the headlines, really, was Cale going over the wall. Unfortunately, he walked away from it, landed on the car down in the parking lot down there, but fortunately he walked away from it and was okay.
All right, Jeff Burton, you're in the front now. You and Frankie ought to be doing some rain dances like you did in the spring. They worked then. Of course, it was raining a little bit harder then. We're talking it over right now in case they have to stop again.
Again, this was in March of 1999, the Trans-South Financial 400. Jeff got banged up in that crash, was in the lead, however, when the rain started, and all he could do was just say, please, please, rain, come on and rain this thing out. It did. Jeff Burton won that race in the spring. And moments ago, I wonder what his thoughts were. The same thing. And here he is standing down with Frankie Stoddard, his crew chief. Just waiting things out here. All right, now the 20 car, we documented what he did. He got his lap back, then made a pit stop. It did drop him all the way back to 17th, but he's got fresh tires, Bill Weber.
Yeah, with Greg Zipadelli, Tony's crew chief, and what a day you guys have had, capped off by that most recent run to get back on the lead lap.
Well, we got to thank everybody at the 99 car. I think he just kind of let us go. We were going to try and race as hard as we could. We had a good car, and we started out, and it was really good. We kind of marched our way to the front, put that second set of tires on, and I mean, it just started screaming loose. I don't know if we had a spring go weak on us, spring bucket bent, something like that, but we did all kinds of things. Put like 4 rounds of wedge in it. Lowered the track bar like 5 rounds, went up 4 pounds on left side tire pressure. We pulled the rear head 3/8 of an inch, took all the tape off the nose, and now it's driving pretty good. So I don't know. I don't know if we were that far off to begin with or what, but I'm just thankful we might have an opportunity to race for this thing.
Yeah, you'd like an opportunity for this to go back to green and figure everybody else in the field should probably come in and pit, don't you think?
You know, I'm just happy to be in the situation that we're in, and you know, we'll take the cards that are given to us from here on out.
Okay, obviously he's a rookie, just his second race here, but he seems to learn quick.
Tony's doing a great job. He got a little flustered there when the car was really loose, and said if we didn't bring it in and do something shortly that we were going to bring it home in a basket. And we came down pit road, and that's where we gave our lap up. Shortly after that, the caution came out. But hey, the Home Depot crew here has done a great job getting his car back on the lead lap. Tony's drove a good race today, and let's hope the sun comes back out and we can go back racing.
Okay, save that basket to carry home $1 million, all right?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, one team going for $1 million to another. Jerry?
And by the way, Jeff, Tony Stewart says thanks for the kindness letting him have his lap back.
Well, you know, Tony and I have always gotten along real well, and
there's always a little tension because some people left that team and went over to our team to go over to that team, but they're all good guys, and we all get along pretty good in the garage area. When they get a chance one day, they'll give me a lap back. So the only thing I want to do, I make sure they don't beat me because of it, because now they're a pit stop ahead of everybody. They could pit, and they caught a caution, they'd be in better shape than everybody.
And they're looking for $1 million too, as well as you are. Now, when the restart came back out, it was going to be the brothers Burton, but boy, you just left Ward behind and took off.
My car's awfully fast right now. If you never know what's going to happen, but things look good right now. It goes where I want it to go, and when I mash the gas, it hooks the rear wheels up, and when I turn the steering wheel, it turns the front tires. So, and I know that sounds silly, but when it doesn't do that, that's when you're not running well, and it'll do that right now. So, but again, this track will change every time we restart. The track will change. What you have now may work, but it may not work. So it's raining pretty hard right now, but
it's a veritable downpour.
It's as bad as it was in NC State last night, but
the Wolfpack won.
That's right. As long as I win, it'll be okay too.
Now, we saw you try to hedge your bet a little bit when you got out of the car a moment ago, and you did some of that rain dance you did back in the spring when suddenly the clouds opened up. You wouldn't mind if it rained right now. They'd put a little extra in your pocket.
I wouldn't mind a bit. And I'd feel like too that we've been fast enough to win this thing. We've been up front most of the day, and if it were to rain, I'd feel pretty good about it. I wouldn't feel like I stole one from anybody, but stealing's okay as long as it's legal.
Now, what about if it were to come down with you and Ward? Ward's got a pretty good car for 20, 25 laps until his car begins to skate a little bit, though. You guys could go at it for. And would your brother take $1 million away from you?
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. That's what he's here to do. He's here to win races for the Caterpillar team, and I'm here to win races for the XI team. We get along great. We work together. But at the end of the day, he has to go to his shop and say, guys, I did all I could do, and I've got to do the same. And we owe it to our teams to give 100%. And, Ward and I raced in Las Vegas against each other to win, and we both gave 100%. I ended up coming out on top that day. But you just got to give all you can every single week. If you don't, you're not doing your team justice. What I'm worried about is these guys right here.
You point to that Gordon guy over there. Hey, here's a rumor. He's pretty good here.
They're scheming. They're scheming over there right now. Hey, Evernham.
Hey, let's go. Why don't we eavesdrop, see what's going on? Hey, is it raining pretty hard, isn't it, Jeff?
It looks like it's drying up. I see the sun shining. We need to get back racing.
Well, you guys think you got the changes you made a moment ago? We talked to Ray. You made some pretty radical changes, like you did back in '97, late in the race, and it made a difference.
Oh, yeah, it made a difference. It went exactly the opposite way we thought it was going to go. Being back a few positions further than we've been all day, there's a lot less air back there, so the car was pretty tight, and we weren't expecting that. We've been tight. We loosened it up, and hopefully when we get back going here, the thing's good and free, and we can get up there to those guys.
You said when we get back going, so obviously you're pretty optimistic. Realistically, the 99 car is almost, you've been there before, he's almost at a class to himself.
Yeah, he really is. 30, 40 laps into a run, if we were there with him, I think we could have something for him. But he gets out there on us, and gets a straightaway on us by being up front, and he's really fast on new tires. It's pretty hard to beat that combination they've got right now. They're really strong, but we're certainly not a fifth-place car, and that's why I'd like to get going.
Hey, good luck to you if we get back out there.
Thank you, Jerry.
Jeff Gordon, the driver for 5, talking with Ray Evernham. We'll back out of the way and let them discuss what's going to happen, and we'll head back up pit road. Guys, it is starting to lighten up a little bit.
Bill Weber is with a guy who's had some rain situations here at Darlington in the past.
Hey, tell me a Darrell Waltrip story about rain in the Southern 500 at Darlington.
Well, now, me and my old buddy Marcus, we were just sitting here laughing about that. 1992, I was sitting out here in a lawn chair with an umbrella and singing, whistling, singing in the rain, and man, it was of course this last race I won here. Now, a while ago I told Travis, I said, you're with the right man if you want it to rain. The problem is the timing was a little off for Spencer there, but we pushed the cars in victory circle, went up to the press box, did interviews, and when we come back out and everybody was loaded up and leaving, the sun was shining. So the racing gods are with you or they're not. And I don't believe that 99 car. Now, is he going to win another race like this?
But he's going to take home some extra money. The money you took out of Davy's pocket.
They asked me how much gas I had left in my tank. I said $1 million worth.
How's your day been today?
Well, we were so bad that I thought I was going to really have to. I thought I was going to park it, to tell you the truth. But Philippe and the guys over there, they got their heads together, and they put a bunch of spring rubbers in here and there and everywhere else. And now if I hit the wall, at least it'll be with the front end, not the back end.
Okay, Darrell, thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way. Jerry?
Over here with Cliff Pennell, Senior Vice President for Marketing, RJ Reynolds. And Cliff, the weatherman may actually help you give away $1 million.
Well, it looks like it might. Jeff Burton sure knows how to let the weather work in his favor at this track, but I'd say, given what we're facing right now, that may end up how we end this thing is with rain, Jerry.
I know Andy Schindler was at the drivers' meeting this morning. He's the chairman and CEO of RJR, and he told the guys he wanted to give $1 million away. People at home may wonder, why do you want to give $1 million away? But you really want to. That's part of the program.
We really do. It is the part of the program, and we get a lot more out of it, and certainly the drivers and fans get a lot more out of it if we give it away. So that's our plan, and matter of fact, Andy's making his way over towards Victory Circle to be ready to do that, whether we race or whether we end up having to call it due to rain.
All right, we still got 2 guys in the top 5 who can do it, Martin and Burton, teammates, and we saw the brothers Burton talking. I wonder if they're going to work a deal down there.
Well, you never know. I'm sure they wouldn't let me in on it, but I don't know. Those 2 pretty hard racers, so I think Ward would be satisfied with being the spoiler, and I think Jeff wants to go home with another one of our $1 million.
Well, I hope you get to give it away, and we'll be there to talk to you when you do.
Thanks, Jerry.
Cliff Pennell, who basically assumed the role that T-Wayne Robertson left when we lost him last year, and certainly we all still miss T-Wayne, but what a job Cliff has done continuing what T-Wayne began.
Well, these guys, they still haven't gotten in their race cars, waiting to do that, and some of them want to go, as Benny said, and some of them don't.
Track looks pretty dry to me. How about it, Jerry Punch?
Bob, it is drying very, very nicely. In fact, the irony was about 15 minutes ago, we were interviewing some of the drivers. It started raining a little heavier, and some of the drivers came walking back by us and actually headed back to the garage area to change clothes. One driver kept his driving suit on, climbed in his own passenger vehicle, and got his wife and his family with him, and pulled out here right behind pit wall to leave. And suddenly it quit raining, and the drying continued, and they called them out. So guys have been running back out here, putting their uniforms back on, putting their arms back in their suits, and those are the guys that wanted it to quit. And, of course, the guys that wanted to race were hanging out by the race car. So there was sort of a 50-50 split there, but now they're trying to get everyone buckled back in. Looks like we may be able to get back underway here pretty soon. Bill Weber?
How are you?
I didn't mean to spin you out.
That's okay. I can take a little roughness there.
Well, I'm 2 down because of the left front coming loose twice.
Yeah. Now, how you felt that, like the first lap under green, we went down and looked at that tire. It'd take a lot of guys a little longer to find that.
Well, I actually felt it went around to the corner after the pit stop, and I said, oh, there's a piece of rubber on the tire caused the vibration. But it really wasn't. It was a loose wheel.
And then it happened again.
Well, then I had to come in under the green, get that fixed, and then we went out and ran another 20, 30 laps, came loose again.
So how is it now?
Tight, I hope.
Yeah.
The wheel.
Because sometimes it'll strip the, when you want to put the nut on there, it'll strip it a little bit.
Yeah, my car's over here. I got to go.
You got to go?
Well, they say we're going to start racing again, but it's going to rain some more.
No, it's not. Good luck.
Okay.
And away goes Dale Earnhardt to his car. Well, a lot of anniversaries being celebrated here recently. We, of course, celebrated NASCAR's 50th anniversary last year. It's Darlington's 50th anniversary right now, and it's ESPN's 20th anniversary. And Tuesday at 7 o'clock, ESPN has a special 20th anniversary show hosted by Chris Berman. During the 3-hour special, we'll take a look at the early years of ESPN and review 20 years of sports, looking at great games, memorable moments, and stories that touched our emotions. That's Tuesday at 7 o'clock. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Jeff Burton has not yet stepped into his car, but we anticipate the restart of the Pepsi Southern 500 before too long. We'll take another break and be right back with more. Dr. Jerry Punch has a report from down there amongst the drivers in the cars.
Well, Bob, we've seen the brothers Burton talking this thing over. If we get it started, we don't get it started. We wonder if they're being brothers, being within the family, they might work out some kind of deal. Michael Craniff just came by a minute ago, and I said, what are they talking about, Michael? Michael said, well, I think what they've done is Jeff said he's agreed to give Ward Burton a little bit of that money for his conservation fund. You know, Ward is a very avid conservationist and wildlife, advocate, and he said he's told Ward he'd give him some money for his fund. And so I asked Ward, asked Jeff, how much you going to give him? Jeff said, about $5. So he may give him a little bit, but it ain't going to be much. And I don't think Ward's going to let him have anything at all. If he wins it, he wins it. If they go back racing, Ward's going to take that $1 million away if he can. Bill Weber?
Well, we're back down here in Jeff Burton's pit, and Buddy Parrott's he can't hear a thing I'm saying. He's got more radios on than anybody. How are you?
Oh, I'm just sitting around in the rain. What y'all doing?
Yeah, I'm watching you doing your rain dance. A few minutes ago, I was watching that.
Well, I'll tell you what. We won this thing in April because of that deal, but, Jeff Burton's drove a great race, and this crew in here is unbelievable what the pit stops they've done, and it's been a great race so far. It wouldn't hurt me a bit to finish this thing under green and go on over there and do what we're supposed to do. But the fans deserve a great race, and we're going to give it to them if the Lord we'll drive this thing up. But
Buddy, in the garage area last night and again this morning, a lot of guys were pointing at your car and your driver as the guy in the car to beat. What makes Jeff Burton so good at this track?
He just runs the racetrack different from anybody I've ever seen. He's got something happens when he comes to Darlington. He has no fear about hard concrete walls, and the car works great. Frankie and them have set up the car where he can run right on the very. I think he's got some kind of little cushion deal that when he runs into the wall there, the air blows him back off because that's how close he runs. But before I get off of this, I'd like to say hello to my mom. I love you, and I hope you get well.
Okay, is this your head cheerleader over here on the right?
Yeah, right. She's singing in the rain too, man.
She gets a little excited at these things, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. And I tell you what, at Darlington, it's real tricky because when she flinches, she about throws me off this box.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Kim said, "Why'd you say that stuff about me, buddy?" She has the rain, the umbrella up, saying, "NASCAR, look, it's just still pouring down rain," but it isn't.
Doesn't appear to be anyway.
There's Mark Martin, who is sitting in fourth right now.
And Pat Tryson, the new crew chief for Kevin LePage, talking to these guys. He's done a great job today with Kevin LePage. They're currently running in sixth position.
Got him up to sixth position. Back down to Bill Weber.
Well, I'm trying to give Kim Burton equal time here, but by gosh, I just can't get there. How are you? Now she can't hear a thing because it's perfect timing. The low jet dryer is going by. So, everything okay? No. A little nervous? Okay. We'll come back. Bob, fill for about 15 seconds here, would you?
14, 13. Yeah, the jet dryer just happens to be going by at the time when we threw it down to Bill to talk to Kim, and the jet dryer is moving off quickly. So, okay, Bill, now try it.
Okay. Well, it's still in the neighborhood. Lean down here for a second. How you feeling?
Nervous.
Yeah. Why?
Well, I just wish it would rain.
He's got a great car, though.
I know, but it's, you just never know. Anything can happen.
Kim, you've been with him for a long time. You were there when he won the $1 million at Charlotte, but you know how much the Southern 500 means to him in addition to the money. This is a big day for him.
Yeah, I mean, what Winston does is awesome for the sport, but Jeff really didn't talk about that. His main goal was to come down here and run well and to try to win the Southern 500. That's been his dream. He came out here in a little bitty motorhome out in the infield when he was 5 or 6 and watched him run, and it would be awesome.
How do you keep your focus during the race?
The computer helps a lot. That's kind of why I do it, because it keeps me calm.
Buddy was picking on you pretty hard there a few minutes ago. I know you couldn't hear him.
Buddy always picks on me, but that's okay. Yeah, he's a great guy, and we love him.
Best of luck to you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Little perspective from the woman's viewpoint there as Jeff now begins to make his way to his car, as does Jeremy Mayfield and everybody else. Crew chiefs stand around with their drivers. Hopefully we can get a green flag very, very soon, as there has been no rain now here for the past few minutes. We'll be right back and wait out this rain delay at Darlington.
We're remaining here. We're happy to hear those sounds of those engines firing. And still a lot of fans here. Some have left.
My guess is that probably half the people have left, and see a couple of whole rows. I would guess about half the people have left during this rain delay, but still half of them are hanging out and hoping to see the rest of this. This is on the backstretch.
And of course, we're helped by the fact that tomorrow is a national holiday, and most people don't have to get back to work tomorrow. So a lot of people sticking around for the final laps of this race. Remind you about Sports Center coming up at 7 o'clock on ESPN. The stories that will be covered include the wild card update in Major League Baseball, the WNBA Finals, and the U.S. Open tennis highlights. All that coming up on Sports Center, hosted by Kenny Mayne and Larry Beal at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And for more, you can log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com.
Kenny Mayne, one of the favorites of the racing personalities on Sports Center. I remember he did the RPM tonight for what, a couple of years before he moved over to Sports Center.
Waiting to roll them off.
We have just received word from NASCAR that this will not go the distance. What they're going to do is they're going to start here in a few minutes, and they're going to race until 6:30. And then they're going to run 10 laps past 6:30, and at that time they will throw the checkered flag. So we're going to have about 25 minutes, hopefully, of racing here to decide the Southern 500 for 1999.
Well, they should not have to make a pit stop during that time for tires or for fuel. So it would be as fair to one as it is to the other.
That's probably 50 laps of green flag racing.
They'll be slip and slide by that time, because we've seen here today, once those tires get worn down and get about 40, 50 laps on them, it slip and slide. Plus the fact that, as Jeff Burton pointed out in an interview earlier with him, it'll be a little bit, the track might be a little bit different now. It's cooler down there for sure.
Jerry, what's the thinking behind the decision that NASCAR has come up with?
Well, first of all, to give all the crews the information up front is very smart of NASCAR to keep the playing field level. Both pit roads have been closed, at least initially. That means if someone's going to pit, they know how many laps you're going to have left to run. But most importantly, some of the drivers, like Mark Martin had commented a moment ago on his radio to NASCAR, that these windshields, some of the windshields here are tinted, and we've run 260 laps so far, and they've gotten pitted from the sand and debris blowing around here, and it's very difficult to see out of that windshield now as it's getting darker and more overcast. So NASCAR, in the interest of safety, said we're not going to run the entire 367. We couldn't anyway. We're going to go to 6:30 and give you 10 laps so you guys will be able to see the battle out to the checkered flag.
All right, thank you very much, Doc. Well, we do see some cars pitting. Jeff Gordon, Elliott Sadler, Jimmy Spencer, and Chad Little come down pit road.
Now, these cars only have about 7 laps of green flag racing on the set of tires they put on, but evidently they feel like it's their advantage to make a pit stop and put on more tires, Jerry Punch.
Exactly. NASCAR just said we're going to go ahead and open pit road now. They put 1 round in the right rear. They're going to change 4 tires. Remember what you heard Ray Evernham say. They made major adjustments on this car back in 1997. And this was the car, by the way, that won the last Winston Million back in 1997. Maybe that adjustment will make a difference as the laps are going to wind down here over the next 20, 25 minutes.
Dale Jarrett is in, John Kernan.
That's right. Time for me to go back to work, I guess. It'll be a 4-tire change for DJ. They watched to see who was going to pit on the front stretch. When they saw those cars come in, they decided that they would come in, put on 4 sticker tires, and hope that they could make a run toward the front.
Well, they were sitting there in 12th position, didn't have a whole lot to lose. They would have picked up 3 or 4 positions from the cars that pitted on the front stretch, but decided, I guess, that it was worth the gamble since they had about 7 or 8 green flag laps on those tires to come in and get some new ones.
Remember now, there are 17 cars on the lead lap, so even if you make a pit stop and fall back to the very end of the cars on the lead lap, you're only in 17th position. It's going to be interesting to see how these cars that now have new tires perform, especially when we get close to the checkered flag.
You see the brothers Burton have chosen not to pit. Jeremy Mayfield has decided to stay out, so has Mark Martin. the 16 car of Kevin LePage. Right now, Jack Roush has 3 cars in the top 5.
Yes, he does. Joe Nemechek runs in 6th position. Bobby Hamilton is 7th. The rest of the top 10, Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader, and Steve Park, who is in the top 10, and a good run for Steve.
Steve was one of those drivers pitting on the backstretch, chose not to come in.
He finished 12th here in Darlington in the spring, and here's the Hardee's rundown showing you where everybody is at in the top 15. Gordon drops back to 13, and those cars back here, 13 through 17, are the ones that made pit stops.
And Tony Stewart, don't forget, he stopped as soon as his caution flag came out and changed 4 tires, and so did Bill Elliott. So Elliott, Stewart, Gordon, Sadler, Spencer, all these cars have on 4 fresh tires.
Take a look at 16 through 30 here. John Andretti is a lap down, although he is at the front of the field as far as the restart order is concerned. Wally Dallenbach also just 1 lap down in the 21st position.
Well, there'll be a scramble here, that's for sure. And sometimes everybody trying to gain as much as they can in a relatively short period of time. Although they do have a good bit of time. They have time to be patient, but sometimes they're not as patient in a situation like this as they need to be, and it could be a recipe for a wreck.
Many of these drivers dropped out as a result of a couple of crashes that we had. Mike Skinner was involved in one of them, but you saw that he is still out there, although he is 108 laps down.
But Skinner has picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions going back on the racetrack. That's 15 points. You never know what's going to happen before the year's over, how valuable those 15 points are going to be.
Probably 1 more position's all he can pick up. Kenny Wallace is shown off the track now, so I don't know how many laps Kenny had run, but it's possible that maybe Skinner could run more laps than Kenny did.
Mike, of course, hoping to make the stage at the NASCAR Winston Cup Award ceremony in New York City at the Waldorf Astoria.
Last time I thought they gave him 2 laps to go, Bob, but the pace car driver, of course, is conferring with the tower, and so they did not give him the 1 to go that time. Bill?
Yeah, Ned, they did give him 2 laps, and what they did is the starter held up 2 fingers and looked for drivers to shake it off or give them the thumbs up. Several drivers said we are not ready to go, especially because apparently there is still rain falling in turn 3. Now they're talking about waiting 5 more laps, but several drivers did indicate last time by they were not prepared to race under these conditions.
These laps are counting. 264 now have been completed. And the pace car leading the field around at about 50 miles an hour.
You know, the worst part about it, it hasn't rained. If you measure the rain we've had this afternoon, it wouldn't even measure.
You're right.
But it's just enough to wet this track. And these cars use slick tires. They do not have any rain tires set up for this kind of situation, so they have to slow them down when you get moisture on the track.
Keep in mind where the 5 Noble 5 drivers are running. Burton, Martin, Stewart, Jarrett, and Labonte. And the fans that are paired with the individual drivers, Phyllis Farmer right now could win $1 million. And are they getting the 1 to go signal?
1 to go, green next time.
All right. Lead lap now, move to the inside, including John Andretti and Dale Earnhardt. John and Bobby Labonte coming up there.
And of course, this adds to the problems of those who made pit stops, because they're going to have to fight through that traffic, and the leaders can be long gone by the time they get through the traffic of those that are 1 or more laps down. I'm talking about Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Spencer and Terry Labonte and Dale Jarrett, some of those who made pit stops.
William Sadler. Okay, pace car takes him into turn number 3 now. Tommy Baldwin looks on, hoping he can take his driver Ward to the checkered flag, and Kim Burton is hoping her husband Jeff Burton can drive to the checkered flag, and we're not going green.
She said it's raining again. I thought that's what Kim was motioning for. Don't send them off.
I guess that's what Jeff was telling the crew, that there was rain on the windshield. I would assume that that's how she knew that. Yeah, we see the windshield. We do see the rain on Rusty Wallace's Miller Lite Ford windshield.
Isn't this frustrating to a driver?
Oh, yes. Very frustrating.
First of all, you have to wait it out, and then things look okay. You get in the car, you get ready to take the green flag, and you see some more raindrops, and caution comes out again. On board with our in-car cameras, here's Bill Elliott, Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte up toward the front of the field, on the inside line. There's Bill Elliott, who's 11th and on the lead lap. Elliott Sadler, pit stop, drop back to 14th. Looking back on Jimmy Spencer and Kyle Petty.
But looking through those windshields, it doesn't appear as though it's raining down in turns 1 and 2, that it's just sprinkling up in 3 and 4 is just the impression I get. Of course, I'm in a nice warm booth, so I really don't know.
Buddy Parrott, we understand, just threw some water up in the air to simulate rain. Down to Bill Weber.
Well, obviously one car that NASCAR is conferring with is the race leader, and the official was talking to Frank Stoddart and some of the guys from the 99 team, and Buddy Parrott, who's perched high above the pit box here, had a bottle of water, which he strategically removed the cap and was adding to the precipitation that was falling, trying to encourage a certain decision. So, Buddy not trying to sway anybody, of course, but
of course
just wanted to add to the elements, Bob.
Sure. Right. Now let's see if we get the one to go this time around.
It doesn't appear as though we're going to.
The flag was not making much of a move down there.
Now we talk about frustrating. It's frustrating for everyone, not only the drivers and the crews, but for the TV people, the NASCAR folks, the fans sitting in the grandstands. They want to see this thing. They want to see some good racing to see who wins this Pepsi Southern 500.
Well, 27 drivers, different drivers, have won this race down through the years since 1950. Jeff Burton is hoping that he can become the 28th driver to win the Pepsi Southern 500.
Well, any of those guys up there in the top 3, Jeff or Ward Burton or Jeremy Mayfield, would fit in that category. Neither of those 3 drivers have won it. Mark Martin, 4th, of course, has won it.
Saw a little bit of sprinkle on Bobby Labonte's windshield. Bill Weber?
Well, let's see if we can lean in here and get the official word. What's the forecast?
Forecast is inclement weather.
You weren't helping that a few minutes ago, were you? I saw some strange water being sprinkled down onto the side.
Well, that was some good. I should know the name of that water is one of our sponsors. But it is good water. I tell you, I was wasting it there for a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe it took a hint, I think it's the helicopters knocking a hole in the cloud up there. Do it, baby, do it.
And you're here just to help NASCAR in case they need
sure.
any decisions.
Yeah. My friend John here, yeah.
Your new best friend, right?
Yeah.
Jerry is over in the other Burton area.
And Tommy Baldwin, you're talking to Ward Burton, who obviously could stand the gain a lot if we go back to green. But what's Ward saying to you?
He said it's raining all the way down the backstretch and going into 3 and 4. You can see now the track's changing a little bit of color. So I just hope it just either stops or starts, and NASCAR make the decision what to do. But we're second right now, and I don't want to take any chances in either wrecking or maybe getting on the Jeff with the white flag. So that's it. It's over.
Okay, well, that's Tommy Baldwin, guys.
Tommy, I couldn't agree with you more. This thing needs to go one way or the other, and NASCAR has decided that this is it. They're going to get the white flag next time around, and the Burton team is already celebrating $1 million. But of course, let's not prematurely give him that money until the checkered flag drops.
I mean, Bob, in the spring, he had a wrecked race car and he made it back. The car's been running perfectly all day. You know he can make it back one more lap.
You don't think about Mark Martin a few years ago when he came in on the white flag lap thinking it was over?
Oh, no.
That was a Busch race in Bristol, Tennessee. Now, those guys that gamble and pitted here got bit on that situation.
Yep, they did. They lost a lot of track position and a lot of points as a result of that. There's the white flag.
And right now, Dale Jarrett lost, but he's in the white flag. Dale Jarrett goes back to 16th. Mark Martin, his closest pursuer, is in 4th place. So once again, he will lose several points to his closest pursuer. And now Kevin LePage has moved up into the 5th place. He will be eligible for that Winston Noble $1 million come the Winston 500 at Talladega.
Jeff Gordon gave up 5th and now is in 13th position. He will not be eligible for that Noble medal.
And Ward's kind of pushing the 99 car, wanting him to go past the pace car, get penalized, do something wrong.
So the 5 drivers who will be going for the Noble 5 at Talladega: Jeff and Ward Burton, Jeremy Mayfield, Mark Martin, and Kevin LePage. Here comes Burton to the inside.
So maybe I can spin him out here on the last lap and get by with him. No, he wouldn't do that. Of course, he couldn't get by with it either.
It's been a great day for both the Burton boys, and especially to Jeff, who is going to win $1 million for himself and his team, and also for Phyllis Farmer from Hillsboro, Missouri.
Right, Phyllis.
Boy, it's so difficult on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on ABC with that quiz show. Yeah, Regis Philbin. There's the hand in the air, and the checkered flag is flying. Jeff Burton wins under caution the Noble $5 million bonus and records his 10th career victory.
NASCAR tried. They tried as hard as they possibly could to get some green flag racing. They just could not get it done. What's Frankie saying, Bill?
He's not saying anything right now. His wife, Heidi, they waited till the checkers came out to celebrate. Congratulations, a victory in the Southern 500 and $1 million bonus again for you and your team.
That's pretty sweet. You know, we've had a difficult summer. Been real disappointed with the way the summer's gone for us. We broke things that I wish we didn't break, and can't take them back. But you know, our chance to redeem the season was obviously to win more money than anybody else, and we got a long ways to go to do that too. But can't say enough about Jeff Burton. I've told you everybody before, he's the master of Darlington. Him and David Pearson and Jeff Gordon, and he finally got himself a Southern 500 and an Exide battery car. We've been trying for 4 years to do it, and you know, this probably ought to be our 3rd straight. That close to winning 3 straight. And but I'm gonna take this one. I love it. Jeff Burton, just a heck of a job all day. The pit stop's great all day, and you know, laid down last night. I knew we had a chance to win this thing. I thought we were about a 10th better than the field, and I was pretty nervous. Didn't know whether we could get it done or not.
Congratulations. They feel they would have won it under green or in the rain. They're going to celebrate, and I believe that part's already begun.
Here are the results. Jeff Burton led the most laps here this afternoon, 89. Ward Burton finishes in 2nd position, and Jimmy Spencer ends up with the 15th. Jeff Gordon, as you indicated, because he made a pit stop, dropped out of the top 5 back to 13th position. Now here 16 through 30, 17 were on the lead lap when the checkered flag dropped.
See that only 4 drivers were 1 lap down, and then a group of cars that were out of the race, Jerry Nadeau being one of those.
Dale Jarrett has lost 142 points in the last 46 points in the last couple of races. The margin now 168 as we head for the 25th event of 1999 this coming Saturday night in Richmond, Virginia. And there's the $1 million coming out of the car down the backstretch, and Jeff Burton is in the middle of a money snowstorm.
Wow. He loving it though.
You'll have to go out there and pick up all that money out there, I guess.
When we are finished here in just a few moments, the senior PGA will come back to ESPN. That will be in just a few moments, as soon as we can talk to Jeff Burton for a few moments and say goodbye from Darlington. So stay tuned for senior PGA golf coming back from ESPN2 to ESPN in just a few moments. Jeff Burton wins the $1 million. So does Phyllis Farmer from Hillsboro, Missouri, the newest millionaire in the United States. And here comes Jeff Burton off the racetrack, headed for victory lane at Darlington. It's his first Southern 500 win. He also won here in the spring, so he has the clean sweep at Darlington in 1999.
He has run so strong here the last several years at Darlington.
Jerry is with Phyllis Farmer. Jerry, what's her reaction to all this?
Phyllis Farmer from Hillsboro, Missouri, you are a millionaire. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so excited. I don't know what to say or do. I'm just excited.
Have you ever prayed so hard for rain in your life?
Never. Never. I was, please, God, let it rain now.
What will you do with the money? Do you have some special plans set aside?
I have some special plans. I'm going to make some investments, and my daughter and I have some plans to spend the rest of it.
Hey, well, congratulations. Enjoy yourself. And you might want to hug this guy when he gets here in a few minutes.
Oh, if he wants to be hugged, he's got a hug.
Okay, Phyllis Farmer, the newest millionaire, and another one just getting ready to pull in here into a makeshift victory lane as now Kim Burton comes by and gets hugged. And here comes her husband, Jeff, bringing the X-Side Batteries Ford Taurus into victory lane. For the second time in 1999, he has won the Noble 5 million. As we will try to make our way into the car here and get into Jeffrey. Trying to keep Frankie Stoddard from giving him a big smooch here on the. Frankie, you can give him a wet one later. Let me get in here to Jeffrey. He's trying to get the belts on so he can get out of here and celebrate a little bit. Well, okay, let me slide. Jeff getting a big hug from Phyllis here. Congratulations on another Noble 5 million.
That's pretty incredible. You know, Frank made a great call to stay out. That was tough. I mean, that's a tough decision whether to stay out of pit. The 24 decided to pit, and they lost a lot because of it. That's just a tough decision. But the best car won this race today. We had some fortune with the rain, but I think the best car won.
No doubt you did not back into this one at all. If it probably would have restarted, you would have been in victory lane. Not only did you win the million, but Jeff, you won the Southern 500. What does that mean to you?
It means an awful lot. This is something that we've tried to do for a long time. And you can say what you want about the Daytona 500, about Indianapolis, but you know, this is it right here. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the biggest race of the year.
Hey, congratulations. Give this young lady a hug. You just made her a millionaire. Phyllis Farmer and Jeff Burton, a couple of millionaires celebrating at Darlington. Bob?
Congratulations to Jeff Burton, the winner of the Pepsi Southern 500. The trucks are coming up Thursday night from Richmond. Busch on Friday, Winston Cup Saturday. We'll see you then. Bob Jenkins from Darlington. So long from the Pepsi Southern 500.